Good evening, everybody. Or should I say Podium Chasers? I should say that, really. Hope you're all well. Tuesdays, we know what that is. It's Taco Tuesdays. This is round 10 this evening, which is the season finale. Obviously, we've got a lot to discuss this evening. There's going to be a lot of action out on track. Obviously, we're just sat in my car at the moment in the pit lane. But we do have a mixed grid again this evening. So we've got Tier 1 and Tier 2 individuals that are going to be amalgamating today. Last week, that was pretty interesting. The different sort of driving styles and techniques and how these guys all sort of interacted with each other was very interesting. And I think tonight will be the same. There is an elephant in the room, of course, and that is that obviously the Tier 1 Championship has already been sewn up by Michael Races, and second and third position are also pretty safe there. But in the Tier 2 Championship, that's all to play for within the top 3, and also, I would say, the top 4 to get into the top 3. We'll look at that shortly. So, again, welcome. This is the Formula Racing League Taco Tuesday GT3 Championship. As you're all aware, this will be my last one, unfortunately, on console. I'll be going over to solely do PC as of next Tuesday, which is quite sad, really, but these things happen. So let's hope we go out with a bang, metaphorically, and obviously not shards of cars all over the track. So 1 second. You know I'm just playing hide and seek whilst I'm doing a sound check, obviously. Good. Okay, that's all good. Traction's in already. Good evening, Coops. Missed you on Friday. I know you did, mate. I know you did. I was actually very, very ill. I thought I had COVID, and tested Thursday, tested Friday, tested Saturday, all negative tests. But I mean, I was literally sick as a dog. Thankfully, I'm okay now. Although you guys have obviously got to enjoy the fact that, yes, you're going to be driving and having fun and getting a bit sweaty. I'm going to be absolutely sweating buckets here this evening because there's no fan. That's in my son's room. The aircon unit is in the living room for the wife. And I'm sat here with about 20 lights on, computers, TV units, PlayStations. I'm already pretty warm. However, we do this evening... We do have something that's going to help me out a little bit, I think. So obviously we have our coffee delivery device, which we promote every week from Daz and the guys in the merch store. But it's not coffee today. No, it's definitely not coffee today. Some Italian chap said, try one of mine. So I did. It's quite tasty, and that goes out. That's for everybody. That's a little cheers for everyone for the last sort of 8 months, and for Ben Milden as well, because it is his 40th birthday today, and I'm sure he's probably had 3 beers. He's probably drunk and gonna have a hangover for about a week already. So happy birthday, Ben. And obviously he's not with us tonight, which won't affect qualifying, because as we all know, Ben can't qualify for toffee. But there you go. He's not here, I can say what I like. Anyway, so how many have we got? Let's have a look down on the left hand side. So we've got 21. We'll discount myself. 21 in at the moment. Obviously Michael's out on track. Jetpackers, so we're in free practice. Again, I know we did say on the podcast the other day, Superkart Ray, it is the final. It is, buddy. It's going to be very, very interesting tonight. We did discuss on the podcast on Wednesday about moving the camera around, and I did say if we were maybe on PS4 or on PC, that would be a good idea, so we could see all of the timing information at the top. However, with us being locked in car, if we've got a battle that's unfolding in front of us and we've got the camera down in the middle of the screen, that's probably going to get in the way of some of the driving that we need to watch. So you've all been kind enough to bear with me over the last few months for this, so one more time isn't gonna hurt. Anyway, so speaking of the Tier 2 Championship, let's just have a little reminder of where we're at, and then we'll get out on track and have a look at people. So just let's have a look at that for a second. Okay, first place at the moment is Elysium 101. Nothing to do with my 101 number, but anyway, I'd be winning too. So Elysium is doing fantastically well this season in the Ferrari. He's on 319 points. Okay, Ollie RSR is currently second place in the Tier 2 Championship, and he's only 19 points behind. And remember, it's a normal points race tonight, so it's 40 points for the win. It's Bathurst. Yeah, we've got Tier 1 and Tier 2 in together. I don't think I've ever seen a clean race at Bathurst, so I'm not saying that's going to happen tonight either, because there's also a variable of the weather. That's doable. Supercar Ray, our man Supercar Ray, hopefully he's brought the fan club tonight. He's in third in the championship. He's had a great season, 29 points adrift. So again, that is doable. So these three, they had a great race last week. And then you've got Lamaro, who's in fourth place. He's 59 points behind, but he could still get into the top three. Or could he use some team tactics to help out his buddy Elysium? Who knows? We shall see how that develops. Iceman Sean UK's in tonight. He's fifth on 247 points, and then Volton is in sixth place on 205 in his Bentley. Kimmy's dad is seventh, Phyllis is eighth, and then Faco, good old Faco, is ninth in his Lambo on 174 points. So normally I will run through literally all of the standings. I'm not going to do that this evening. We've done that all season long. Everyone knows where we're at in the table. There are positions to be gained up and down that particular tier, all the way down to the bottom. There's also opportunities for people to, well, you know, bragging rights, a little bit of pride, etc. in tier 1 as well. But as we know, Michael wrapped that one up last week. But just to run through the top, oh dear, I can hear my cat. Well, if he jumps in, we're all in trouble. So Michael's obviously got that sewn up on 344. Milden's in second place on 300 points, 44 drifts. Obviously he can't catch him, and he's not with us tonight anyway. Dokuno is in third place on 256. So even if Dokuno wins the race, he's not going to overtake Ben, so he secured that second place. And then we've got AMS is currently in fourth place on 230 points. So that could be a potential swap. Marty Road Race isn't far behind either on 227, and then the ever reliable Rob 2K is sat just there in sixth place at the moment on 216. So again, within that tier, there's opportunities for people to change positions. So there's a lot going to happen. Kino's in. Evening Coops. Evening Kino. Hope you're well. I'm sure you really. I will bet, Kino, that earlier on today, when it was before free practice, and I was on the practice server, and you were there, and you were following my, because I took the portion just for the crack. I'm sure you were really watching those lines carefully, and it's no problem. I thank you. It's okay, because you saw what lines not to take, didn't you? And whereabouts in the wall not to hit. So yeah, I had a little bit of fun in there earlier on, as I do every week, and I am absolutely dripping already. This is going to be an uncomfortable evening, and all you drivers are going to be sitting there going, ha ha, Coops. No, we feel every week. Well, cheers. I may have to get my pit lane runner to keep bringing some of those into me this evening, just to obviously keep me cool. No other reason for it. Masterclass, yeah, certainly was. It certainly was, and that was with the controller. All right, I wasn't sat in the play seat. So Michael Races is currently topping the charts in free practice with a 202.583 in his McLaren. Let's have a little look-see at him, shall we? Let's start getting into the mind frame. Let's start getting ready for this race time. Remember, it is a 90-minute race. Yeah, it's normally, in our sessions, it's normally a 15-minute qualifying session followed by a 1-hour race, but obviously this is the season finale, and we normally do a 90-minute race on the last one, because if this thing's up for grabs, it makes it more interesting. If not, it's a little celebration, really, then, of everyone driving. So it's all good. So 90-minute race, 2 pit stops this evening. I know I say this every single week. You will see next to where their number is on the left-hand side there, we have a green green stripe next to everyone's number. When the race comes out, that'll be a gold straight yellow 2, which will indicate 2 stops. and then obviously that will go down to 1 and then 0, and when it goes 0 it'll be green, so we know they can race to the end. So nice and easy for everyone that is watching that hasn't watched before. So nice easy explanation for everybody. And the pit stops themselves, tyres are optional. Tyres are optional. So you could see if someone's driving one of the cars, which it is certainly a little kinder on the tyres, or maybe their driving technique allows that, they could go really deep into this race and do a very quick stop and then maybe a splash and dash at the end. I don't think anyone's going to be able to fuel for the full 90 minutes. Could be wrong, but I don't think so. So again, it really allows a lot of different strategy to come into play this evening, because you've got that option of the 2 stops, and tyres are optional. So let's see. Let us see what happens. I hope you've all had a good day. Obviously, everyone's been dealing with the heat today, but looking forward to tacos. Ah, Michael. Terrible, eh? Terrible. Right, so Jetpacker actually, he won his first championship within FRL the other night, which was fantastic. So well done to him. Not Taco's one of our other series. And then in terms of the Tier 2 individual, Supercar Ray is currently leading the pack in terms of his quickest free practice time. We've got an optimal track 24 and probably a 24 as well in terms of ambient and on-track temps. So Supercar Ray is 3/4 of a second off Michael Race's best time, which actually come down, so that's now 2:01.986. And then Ollie RSR, remember, who is, well, in second place in the championship, is 6,000ths of a second. That's all it is. Not even the blink of an eye. Literally 6,000ths off Supercar Ray's time. And you've got 2 very different cars there. We've got the Ferrari, which she's going to take a lot of concentration around here. Is that Kino in front? She's going to take a lot of concentration. That is due to Jamie. Whereas Ollie is in the Benters. Okay, we know she's a big old car, but she handles extremely well. And Michael has left the server. What's gone on there? Michael's left the server, so I hope he has not been disconnected. Let's give him a moment and see if anything comes through. Or maybe he's just thought, I'm really hot. Not for me today. Sorry, my glasses are going to just melt, I think. If Daz Parker's watching this, I'm sure, surely a FRL brow wiping device is needed in times like this, Daz. Michael's back in. Yay! And there we go, so the Bentley. We will obviously do a full lap guide. We do that every single week. Once we get into qualifying, we'll sit on board and we'll do a lap guide. And I think today, obviously everyone's going to get good airtime, as always, especially being the last one for me, but I am going to focus on that battle in the Tier 2. We have to. It's still up for grabs, isn't it? So we need to keep an eye on that one. Dokuno's currently 5th, Marty Road Racing 6th, Rob 2K is 7th, Andy and his Lexus is 1.4 off the pace currently, and then Sean's there in the Porsche. Now Sean, he did his qualifying last week, or certainly his free practice last week, would have lent you to think he was going to struggle, but during the course of that race last week at Imola, he really started to nail that Porsche, and I'm sure it will be the same this evening. The Genie X4G, who joined us for the first time last week, is also racing tonight. Actually, let's run through who we got in. So obviously we've got Michael's Tier 1, Jetpacker is Tier 1, Supercar Ray's Tier 2, Ollie RSR is Tier 2, Dokuno's Tier 1, Mighty Road Racing Tier 1, Rob 2K's in. Oh dear, I don't like that rubber banding. Rob 2K is Tier 1, Andy Craven Tier 1, the Genie X4G, I believe he's just a reserve, obviously stand to be corrected. Cool is Tier 1, Elysium Tier 2, AMS Tier 1, Kino Tier 1, Iceman Sean UK Tier 2, GT Jamie's in Tier 1, Damaro's Tier 2, Jumbo Hargreaves I believe is in Tier 2, Kevin Senti is reserved for tonight. Marpat, I know it doesn't say Marpat, I said this last week, but that is Marpat, Tier 1 I believe, and we miss Wide Open. Now, that's the number 55. Now, it probably isn't him. Within FRL, we do have a Patreon service, which is fantastic. Anybody could join that, and obviously you get access to certain perks. Namely, one of those is your number. Now, I do know that a certain individual that drives within FRL has a number 55, which would be Chica. But I'm sure Chica hasn't renamed himself We Miss Wide Open. Who knows? There's me, Kagatacos, to the 1. Drugo Apache, believe that's going to be an individual. Wow, that is not good. Standing in for this evening. Yavolton, Tier 2, and Cascanova is in as well. I think this is going to be Cask's last race on console. One of many who've been slowly porting their way across to PC. Obviously just slyly buying computer parts and hiding them from wives and girlfriends. But hey, that's what we need to do, right? Fearless Freak is in there as well. So I will need to time the race this evening. It's very cooling, that beverage. It's fantastic. We'll need to do a timer on the race again this evening, which I normally forget to do by about a minute. So hopefully tonight I won't do that. Right, so Ollie's still... Him and Supercar Ray, those times haven't changed. I'm just keen to know what's going to happen with the weather tonight, because a 90-minute race, it does look pretty overcast. I know it's not saying there's going to be any rain, but hey, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? Right, Claire's in. Evening, Coops. Good luck, Kino. Let's hope that, yeah. Indeed. Let's hope the electricity stays on. So, Kino's been, he's been found out. We were talking about this earlier on. He's had a couple of power cuts within the last hour or so. Which doesn't bode well, really. I mean, I'd be getting my excuses ready as well if I wanted just to leave, but no, I believe him. But yeah, I asked him why that was happening, and he said the lead that he puts through the wall into next door neighbour's electricity box keeps coming loose. So, I mean, that's all I'm saying. Cost of living crisis. I mean, his next door neighbours really know about it, don't they? Joking, Kino, joking. Right, anyway. Yellow flags. Oh dear. Well, no, that's okay. So Ollie's Bentley, she doesn't seem to be. I'm not going to. I'm not going to put a kiss of death on it. God, I love. I can't wait to do the lap guide. You've got to love this track. Below, a lot of people become very intimidated by this track. There's no need to be. She's very, very gentle. As long as you're nice to her at certain points, she's all good. Right, so in the wait time. So last week we did 2 separate forms of qualifying. We did 10 minutes for Tier 1 and 10 minutes for Tier 2. I'm assuming that is going to be the case again, or it may not be, depending on how many guys from Tier 2 are in. So we'll find that out in about 2 minutes 15 seconds, funnily enough. Oopsie. Maybe he's pushing those tyres just a little bit hard. Well, it says Jetpack is in a Porsche. I'm pretty sure that sounds like an Audi. That's not a Porsche, is it? Let's see if he's in somewhere else. No, he's not. That's not a Porsche. So maybe that's another little bug on the game. So all in the pits, apart from Iceman Sean UK. Let's just watch him complete his lap as we go down towards the chase. That's it. End it in style, my man. Right. Okay, qualifying session underway. Who we got going out? So Dokuno is straight out. He's first one out the bang, so we'll keep an eye on Dokuno. Now you will know that you know, obviously I did offer, I'm actually quite glad now to be fair, I did offer last week and on the podcast to do an entire evening of comms, be this, you know, the last one for myself and the championships coming to a head. I did offer to do a PS4 and then a Tier 1 and then a Tier 2 on PS5 and a Tier 1. So essentially I was offering to sit here for 5.5 hours. Again, I've been here for what, 20 minutes and I'm already absolutely melting, so it's a good job that didn't happen. But the drivers, they didn't want it. They voted to keep it the same. I was like, okay, it's fair dues, whatever, helps me out. So the track has changed from optimum to fast currently. Well, it looks like everyone's just decided to go out, really. Evolving Franco, so who's gone out? Well, Elysium's gone out, so if we are doing pros and AMs, he shouldn't be out, but we'll have to check that one. Okay, so we're going to do our first full lap guide in a moment. Obviously, this is Mike's last time as well on console, so he's very sad. He's been talking to me about that all day. In fact, he's been so sad, he's given me the cold shoulders. Anyway, let's get on and get our lap guide done, shall we? Okay, so first corner in left-hand corner, which is House corner, so 50 board down to second gear, get it turned in. We're going to just run wide slightly, then we're on mountain straight. So we can think here, we've got a really long straight, you know, we're obviously going to take a breather from the last lap. We're going to be making sure our situational awareness is spot on in terms of people potentially trying to get a toe on us as we prepare for the quarry. So on the left hand side, bit of asphalt just there, brakes down into third, tuck her in, let the car drift on the power, and then up towards the quarry. So not this gap in the wall, there's a gap here, that's your turning point there, so swing it in, and then we're hard on the brakes, down into first, trail in, we're going to squeeze on the throttle slightly, don't touch the wall on the right hand side, and then we're going to go through this part, again really close to the wall and left. This should be flat, which it is, nicely done Dokuno, and then we are now at the top of the mountain. So tricky section this one, in the Ferrari especially, don't want to take too much curb there, slight lift, now on the power, so now down towards the S's, and we're not going towards the S's, are we? No, well we are, but not very fast. So we'll come off that one. That was unfortunate. Marty Road Racing's coming down the S's. We need to pick up the S's. Who's coming down there? Where's GT Jamie? Let's get on board with GT Jamie. Where are you at, big guy? 141. There we go. Let's go on board with GT Jamie and his Ferrari. So he's just come up through cutting. So again, we've just seen this happen. I think Michael Races is just in front of him. So we'll just see how GT Jamie attacks this in his Ferrari. So on this part, we've got a swinger in. We need a slight lift there just to make sure, otherwise the car's going to run wide and there's only a wall there, you can't do anything else. And then we're going to get in towards the S's, which is 8 directional changes. So down a gear, get it turned in. He's gone down 2 there, scrubbing that speed off. Michael pulls out of the way, so 8 directional changes here. Didn't want that little clip there. And then we're full throttle down the hill, so full pout down, off the power, and then we're coming into... Has he backed out on that one or not? Interesting, that was the Big Dipper. And then we've got Forest Elbow, which is a slight kink on the left hand side. We're flat through here, all the way down the Conrod straight, nothing else to do, just absolutely floor it. Maybe make some adjustments for your pit stops, again situational awareness, see what's going on around you, as we're then going to come up into the Conrod straight. So we're going to straddle this line here, then we're going to hook it to the right, about 125 metres, hard on the brakes. We're going to drop it down into second gear, trail in, pick up the throttle now we should be full throttle, drifter wide to the left, and then we're going to come back across to the right for Murray's corner, which is the last corner. So we're looking for just past the 100 board on the brakes, down into second, make sure we get that apex, squeeze on that throttle, and away we go onto the start finish straight. So that was a part 1 and part 2 of the lap guide there. Michael Races currently set the quickest time. Let's see what he can do in that McLaren, and then I'm going to have a quick look a bit further down at some of the other drivers. Want to enjoy this one this evening. And yes, Michael, that's exactly what you should do. He obviously heard me talking about him. So Michael shows us which part of the wall not to hit, just like I did in free practice. Let's get on board Kino. Let's give Kino a little bit of time in his Ferrari as we're just coming up to the same section down the hill in the S's. You can see there's a bit of traffic in front of him. Down to, oh, boys and girls. So no one's happy with it. So here's Jetpacker in his Porsche, although clearly an Audi. Then we're going to go and have a look. Oh, Faco's put a time in it in his 441 Lambo. 5.6 seconds off the pace, so that lap couldn't have gone particularly well for him. I must say, Mighty Road Racing currently takes provisional pole with a 2:02.943. We're on board with Jetpacker at the moment as he goes up through Quarry into the cutting again. That's nice through there, hard on those brakes, get it turned in. Good, that's nice. Jetpacker, he is a bit of a master in that. Well, he's a master in the Porsche and the Audi, let's say that. It's probably the kindest way to say it. Okay, over the top of the hill. Let's see how the Audi takes the S's. See if he does double downshift straight away. No. Look at that, sedate as you like. Blue flags though. Okay, that was that. The thing is, that seemed very, very well. That was quite sedate. It seemed through there, but that usually means it's quick. So we'll see. As Cool goes top in his Porsche with a 2:02.925, 18 thousandths quicker than Marty Road Racing. Up towards the chase, hard on those brakes, get it down into second. Okay, back end's not stepping out. She looks absolutely under control as we go into Murray's. And up towards the start finish line. Right, where's what did I say? What did I say? That looked a very sedate lap. Yeah, there was nothing particularly crazy happening in that lap. And there you go. That was a quick lap. Well done, Jetpacker. That was a great lap from you, mate. So we've got two Porsches. An Audi and a Porsche at the top at the moment, which is quite interesting really. Let's have a look further down. So all of the tier 2 guys are in the pits as they should be, and Elysium has now put himself in the pits. Good, he probably just forgot from last week. So GT Jamie, the 141 Ferrari, driving for Red Kings Motorsport. As you can see, the sort of livery on the front there, the red and the yellow and the black. Yeah, hasn't put a lap in yet, so he needs to get one done. Dokuno hasn't got a lap set either in his Ferrari, so he needs to get one done. But currently, Jetpacker is leading the pack. Okay, what's he going to do? What's he going to do in this final qualifying session of Season 5? Can you believe that? In fact, the check-ins have already gone up in terms of the driver check-ins, you know, finding teammates, you know, if you want to change teammate and, you know, car and whatnot. That's already gone up for Season 6. It went out today. So these guys will probably get a week, maybe a week and a half, or, well, probably 2 weeks rest, and then they'll be back at it again. So GT Jamie does set a time. 2.3 seconds off the pace though, in 10th. So that's not going to be what he wants to do. Right, Michael's back out on track. Let's see if he can better the time that he put in previously. Dokuno has managed to set a time now and goes 5th, under a second. And Michael Races decides he is going to complete a lap in his McLaren. And as usual for Mr. Races, he's currently top of the pack with a 2:02 flat. Well, he was. I mean, he was. You saw that. But Jetpacker's just come round and actually done a 2:02 flat. So Michael's done a 2:02.1, and Jetpacker's on a 2:02 flat. So that's very, very, very good from these guys. Do we have? Again, it would probably help now if I was able to see the timing screen, but I'm not. So I'm going to assume that the Tier 2 guys are getting ready to come out, or are already out, as you can see there. So the Tier 1 guys, this is their last opportunity to complete their lap. They're both chasing each other, these two. So Cool's in the pits, he's currently in 3rd place. Michael narrowly misses the wall there at the top of the mountain as he comes down towards the S's. This is going to be a super shoot through here. Down a gear, get it tucked in, down another gear, get all the braking done, get everything nice, and then stamp on that throttle there, mate. Good. Nice. Need a bit of bravery coming through this last bit. Little back off as we go through Big Dipper. Hard on the brakes. Down into first. Get her tucked in. Go. That was beautiful. That was very, very nicely done. But we saw Jetpacker did exactly the same in the lap that we followed for the lap guide. Didn't look as aggressive. Didn't look as quick. But it was quicker. So we'll have to see what transpires from these two as we go into the chase. He's got to get this breaker point nailed. Doesn't want any lockups. Doesn't want any understeer. Doesn't want any lift off oversteer. Doesn't need any issues. Just needs it to be absolutely perfect. He's got to find 57 hundredths as we come into Murray's. Hard on those brakes. He's got to want to get on that gas early. What's it going to be? He does. He goes 2 tenths quicker, so 2:01.848, and then Jetpacker comes across the line. Doesn't improve. So that's your tier 1 sorted. Let's go and have a look at tier 2. So who have we got in the running for tier 2? So we've got this guy, number 7 Ferrari, just getting himself some space. Elysium 101 is, as we know, currently leading this championship. Superkart Ray in the 58 Ferrari is third, and Ollie RSR in the 88 Bentley is second. So we've got Elysium's top, and then we've got Ollie's 19 points behind, and then I believe Superkart Ray's 29 points behind, and then just behind those is Lamaro 83 in the sister Ferrari for Elysium. So all to play for, guys. Absolutely all to play for. 7 watching at the moment. Good evening. If you've just joined us, this is round 10 of the Formula Racing League Taco Tuesday Championship. We have amalgamated tier 1 and 2 again for this evening, just due to numbers and holidays and heat and lots of other things. So as you know, tier 1 championship was wrapped up last week. We've got the tier 2 guys are now out for their 10-minute qualifying session to see where they're going to line up. And yeah, we've got a 3-way fight for the championship, which is going to be, it's exciting, but you know, this is a track where it is literally one mistake. There is no coming back at this track. There's just not. Anyway, so Elysium, nice punchy down changes there as we're coming down through the S's. That was quite aggressive from him, which I like to see. Perfectly controlled though. So the sprint down towards the Big Dipper. In we go, down into first. Early down change into second there. You can see that he's just trying to scrub off some speed and get control on that car, which he seems to have it nailed quite nicely there. So Elysium is now on the Conrod straight in the run up towards the chase. Great opportunity at this part of the track to overtake. There's probably 2 or 3 of those actually. Anyway, so in we go, 100-meter board on the brakes, down into second. Get her turned in. You can see he was turning there, so I'm assuming he's trailing. And then we're going to whip it across to the right hand side, get ourselves lined up for Murray's on those brakes, down into second, and then punch it. Right, let's see what Elysium can do. Elysium goes straight into the top 10. Nice lap there, but Superkart Ray, Superkart Ray in his Ferrari has gone quicker, so he's 9th overall. But Ollie RSR in that Bentley, I did say earlier on when we were doing free practice, yes, the Bentley is a bigger car, right? You're going to have to throw around a little bit more, but she is more stable. She is a more planted car. And Ollie RSR certainly, certainly proven that. Wait, what happened there? Actually, I mean, Ollie, I want to know what RSR stands for, because, I mean, you know, obviously you're quite newish to FRL, but, you know, my name is RSR Cooper, as you can see there, which is Red Scorpion Racing, so I don't know if we've got a new team member, who knows. Anyway, so Ollie's coming down the S's. Guys and girls, the jeopardy at this track is immense. Can you imagine all of these guys ploughing up the hill? Yeah, because let's not forget, you've got to have your braking markers spot on. You've got to have your turning points spot on. If you get a smidge of oversteer or a smidge of understeer, there's no room for error on this track. Yeah, you're going to be on the wall, you're going to have a tyre off in terms of the grass, or you're going to take too much curb, it's going to unbalance the car, and these guys have got to concentrate for 90 minutes. So if this is a clean one, then I'd be very, very impressed. There's a lot on the line this evening, and obviously the Tier 1 boys aren't just got to move out the way and think, oh, it's the Tier 2 guys, they're fighting for their championship. Of course they're not. Of course they're not. They're thinking, we're all in Tier 2, I need to be quicker than you because I'm in Tier 1. As is life. Anyway, so Ollie RSR finds himself 6th overall, first in his tier. I was going to say Superkart Ray finds himself second, but he doesn't. Superkart Ray has just banged in an absolutely awesome lap, and he's 5th overall. He's only a second, just a second and a bit off Michael's lap, which is absolutely fantastic, as is Ollie actually. There's only sort of 30, 40 hundredths between those two. Where's Elysium? So Elysium finds himself down in 11th at the moment. He needs to be pushing himself a little bit further up the track. Now obviously, because we've got 2 tiers running, there will be separate points for those 2 tiers. Yeah. So let's say the race has just finished. Has it? Thanks for that, guys. Let's say the race has just finished. Obviously Elysium wouldn't finish 11th and pick up points for 11th place. Elysium would be 3rd in Tier 3 and would pick up points for 3rd place. Just so that everybody is aware of how that works. Come on, you Volton, in your Bentley. Let's give him a shout. Chris, do you know what? This guy, he works his absolute socks off. I don't actually know how he manages to multitask in that way. I've got a lot of time and respect for Chris. He works like an absolute Trojan, you know, across multiple championships with us, helping with administering those, coming up with ideas for the season layouts, how many rounds, what tracks we're going to race at, are we going to do something different. He's looking at, you know, special events. He gets involved with PC. He even once tried himself a concept, which he was actually very good. Podcast, I mean, he's a good guy. He's a good guy as Chris. So let's give him a little bit of airtime, and then we'll have a look at Iceman Sean as well, because as I said before, he's developed really well. Just while we're watching Chris cross the line, goes into the top 10. Fantastic lap from him. Ollie RSR, you can see that, has gone 3rd overall, 3/10 off Michael, which means he's just improved by 3/4 of a second in that lap. So whether that's a tyre temperature, whether they're coming into their window better now, he's done a couple of laps, whether that's a bit of fuel burn, or whether that's just him looking at other people and lines, or just correcting something that he wasn't doing previously, that is an absolute stonking lap. That is really impressive. So Superkart Ray finds himself 6th place overall, 2nd in class, and Chris decides I wasn't talking about him enough. So he thought he'd throw it in the wall. Anyway, Lamaro 83 down in 17th at the moment, 3 seconds off the pace in his Ferrari. Then we've got Fearless Freak. Jambo Hargreaves hasn't set a time yet. We Miss Wide Open hasn't set a time, and nor's Kaga, and they're in the pits. Drugo Pashi, is out on track. G the Genie guy, he's 27th, and Cascanova is currently Cascanova's 27th at the moment. So let's see if Lamaro can punch something in which is going to be more representative of where he is currently in the tier championship, which is 4th place, remember. Oh no, I've run out. Oh, let's have a look. Kaga says, hi everyone, Coops, I just have to say it was an honour having you broadcast the PlayStation races. I'll miss you, mate. Thank you, buddy. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that. My TV just turned off. Mate, I think from the back, you haven't changed your setting, have you, for when it goes on sleep? I think if you start from the back, you'll be quite safe. So, qualifying is pretty much finished. We'll see what Superkart Ray can do, and then we'll run through our grid. I hope you are all ready for 90 minutes of craziness. And enjoying 90 minutes of watching me slowly melt. Right, what's Superkart Ray going to do? He does improve, but not enough. So he's about 3/10 off the pace, and then Elysium's down in 12th. So that isn't good, really. not for the championship. So the grid for this evening: Michael Races on pole position. Congratulations, Michael. I believe this may be his last tacos as well. A 2:01.848. Jetpacker lines up on the front row with him, just over 2/10 off the pace. Ollie RSI remembers tier 2, has qualified in third, an absolute fabulous lap in that Bentley, and he's joined with Cool Racing in the 444 Porsche on row 2. In fifth, we've got Dokuno in the 112 Ferrari. He is half a second off the pace, and Superkart Ray from tier 2 is on the third row. I don't have to say it, guys. You can imagine this is going to be so tense. Mighty Road Racing is 7th alongside Andy Cray. Rob 2K is 9th, 1.2 off the pace, and Yvolton is in the top 10. Fantastic lap there, Mr. Chris, in the Bentley. AMS is 11th. AMS, well, I won't say it now, but I hope baby's well, hope mum's well. It's been a couple of weeks now, so session has ended. Right, let's do that. We can carry on through that. Yeah, so hopefully all is well at home, AMS. Elysium, remember, is leading the Tier 2 Championship, finds himself in 13th, 2.1 seconds off the pace. Kevin is then 14th, who's standing in tonight. Great to have him back in the Lexus, 2.1. And then we've got Marpat 15th, Irishman Sean UK is 16th. Jambo Hargreaves is 17th, 2.6. GT Jamie, doesn't look like he's had a particularly fun session. There's 18th, 2.6 off the pace. Lamaro, who's 4th in tier 2, is 19th. Then we've got Kino DJ in 20th position. Probably not the best qualifying effort from him, although he'll probably tell us the electricity cut out just at the right moment there. Phyllis Freaks 21st, Cascanova 22nd, and Faco is 23rd in his Lamborghini. I'm 24th. We Miss Wide Open is 25th. 24th. We know why Kaga didn't do qualifying, because his TV turned off. And G, the Genie X4 GG is 27th. And that's your grid. That is your grid for the finale, round 10. I mean, it's been a big old season. Yeah, 10 rounds. Fantastic racing across all the tiers and across both splits, actually, PS4 and PS5. I've said for many months that, you know, the Taco boys are like my kids. You know, spend a lot of time commentating on these chaps, and you get to know them all pretty well. So yeah, there we go. We better get ready for our final race. We're gonna cry. No, we're gonna get ready for our final race, but I do need to swap out, actually, coffee delivery device, which obviously didn't have coffee in it, for some quality H2O. Coops competition this week. Name the film of which Kino said the electricity turned off. Are you being serious? Well, I mean, I was joking, but yeah. Name the film with that great one-liner in about quality H2O. He could be my last Coops competition winner on the console. Michael says, thank you, Coops, for all the comms on PS5. I'll be doing a lap of honour. Well, that's nice. Well, I'll watch your lap. In fact, you know what, guys? At the end of the race, if you could all stay in, yeah, just so I can say a thank you to everyone, or all of you go and do some donuts. I mean, that would be pretty awesome, wouldn't it? Yeah. I mean, I might come out and join in. But there we go. So we are obviously in our eternal wait to get on the grid. I mean, it's not like it's an hour and a half race or anything, Jeff. Come on. Oh no, I've got a message on Discord. Quick, hold on, guys. Ultra professional. Yeah, I'm on the grid, yep. So, who's saying what in Discord? No, I'm not interested in that. And all that. Nothing anyone needs to worry about. So, we are in the wait time. If you're, again, I did say at the top of the show, it's two mandatory stops. You can see we have our orange and gold 2s, which indicates they have 2 stops still to complete. When they've done 1, obviously that number will, you know, hold on a minute, quick maths, go down to 1, yep. And when complete, that will go green, which will obviously signal that they are good to go until the end of the race. Tyres, remember, are optional. So I want to know what nutter out there is going to try and do the entire race on one set of tyres and maybe do, 2 very quick sort of splash and dashes. That would be brave. Optimal track, as you can see, ambient temp currently is 24. Have no idea what the actual track temperature is because I can't see that, but we are optimal, which is good. Right, where's my phone so I can time this? I missed it last week. I mean, I did time it last week, but I didn't put it on until probably a minute into the race, which you know, wasn't particularly professional of me. There we go. Georgie Priest. You've got up, have you, George? Blimey. Afternoon, fellas, or should I say to you gents, good luck. Yeah, Georgie Priest, our American. Well, he's a messiah from the States, isn't he, really? I remember when Georgie first joined us, and now look at him, running the empire over there. Hey, Coops, good luck for the last one. Thank you, Ben. I did give a shout out to you earlier on, mate, but if you didn't watch it, I'll just do it quickly. Cheers, mate. Happy birthday. Alright, hope all's going well. Hope you're having a good one, whatever it is you're doing. And obviously he's supporting his guys. Shez Monkey is trying to get in. Did you check in, Shez? Mr. Craven's in. Good, boys, good. You know what you'll need to do, and I think most of you have done it. Press the like button. You'll never have to hear me say this again after tonight, so press the like button. You're welcome, mate. You're welcome, Ben. Right, 35 seconds left on the wait time. Then we'll get into our formation lap. I'll be dumped into the pits as usual. Again, if you haven't seen this before, on the PS5 we are bugged. So this is the camera angle I choose because I feel it gives us the best view and we get to feel what's going on with the race this way. But yeah, that's what's going to happen. 90 minutes. You guys are absolutely bonkers. I want to know if you guys are hotter than me or not. Temperature wise, obviously. Was that Mike? Yeah. No. Right, so, and again, who are we going to start? I'm going to start with Superkart Ray. Superkart Ray! Because, obviously, Superkart Ray is massively in this fight. Yeah, massively in this fight for the Tier 2 Championship. He's only a couple of places behind Ollie RSR. And that qualifying session from those two is absolutely magnificent. It really is. I'm not going to use the word epic yet, but it is epic. Oh, actually, got anyone that's watching? Who did the comms on Sunday? Be interesting to know that. No, I don't need an answer right this second, obviously, but I do want an answer. Okay, so why are they weaving? Well, Superkart Ray is only weaving because he knows that I'm on him at the moment, and he's showing all his mates, look, this is how you go side to side and stuff like that, and he'll probably spin it in a minute. But yeah, they're just trying to get some temperature into those tyres. They'll probably be dragging the brakes as well. You know what, Ben? I thought he was a friend of yours. I did, because actually I was listening to a bit of it. I was really impressed. It was really good, and a couple of points during that, I thought that sounds like Ben. Honestly, I thought it does sound a bit like Ben, and obviously if you're mates, it explains a lot. Explains a lot. I'm not. I didn't say that in a bad way. Yeah, he did. Alright, it's my last one, Georgie. Stop it. Bloody hell, all my electricity's gone. No, that's Kino when he disconnects from the server tonight. Right, anyway, I'm not allowed to joke around tonight. I've got to be ultra serious. Smoke and mirrors session. Daz is in. Hello, Dazza Snipes. How are you doing, sir? You missed an absolutely stonking qualifying session, mate. We've got two guys from at the top of Tier 2 are in the top 6 overall. So you've got to think how eager, right? Ollie RSR, Superkart Ray, yeah, and I know Elysium, I'm not taking Elysium out of this, but he's a bit further down the grid at the moment. How eager are these two going to be to get the jump on each other? Because this is it. This is the biggie. But we all know you don't win a race in turn 1, or particularly on this track. You don't win the race on lap 1. You don't. Not with cold brakes, not with cold tyres, not with... Well, we don't know what the fuel loads are, do we? Because, let's face it, it does allow for more strats. Can you stop that? You're making me dizzy. coming out. Oh, no, they're all at it. Oh, there you go. Whew. No. You're Volton, he won't weave. He's not a weaver. See, look. Okay, let's get ready. So what I'm saying, my point was, you know, these guys that, you know, they're, you know, the tier 1 guy. Michael's not going to get out of the way. Yeah, it's not built in him to do that, right? I mean, you know, we've seen Michael find loopholes in rules before, which was fair play at the time. I do think, and you know, we've seen that happen before. So he's not got to get out of the way or bend the knee. Jetpacker, he's just been crowned a champion within FRL. He's not doing that. We know Cool is absolutely rapid. Dokuno is 3rd in the championship. Yep. So he's not exactly a slouch. And then you've got Ollie and Supercart Ray in the middle of this lot. Marty Road Racing is quick, as is Andy, and Rob2K is normally always in the top 5. So anything can happen. Let's all pray. Let's all pray for a clean one. Oh, Daz, I'm sorry to hear that, mate. All's well that ends well, though, buddy. And I'm not. Anyway, I'm not. You know, I know the race has started, but I'm not giving that a disservice. Yeah, we know they get emotional. Anyway, so the race has started. We've just gone through T1, so Michael is still out up top by the look of it. We're on board with Supercart Ray at the moment, and he's chasing down the 112 Ferraris you can see in front of Dokuno. And who we've got behind? So we've still got Marty behind. We've got no yellows on the track so far. There looks like there's a move being made there. So Jetpacker's ended up. Jetpacker's got the jump on Michael there in his Porsche, which again is quite cleverly disguised as an Audi. Maybe there's a technical infringement there that the stewards need to have a look at. Potentially. Right, we'll let the computer get his brain fart out the way on the left hand side as we come up the hill for the first time. Absolute nose to tail, these guys, as you would expect. And look at Sean. Sean's got himself up to 3rd place. Right. Absolutely on it. That Audi, that McLaren and that Porsche are so difficult to control through there. You know, if any car's going to have a go at you, it's going to be one of those 3. Anyway, down through the S's for the first time we go, as we can see. Then we're going to get straight on the power in the run down towards the dipper. Got to be brave through this section. On the brakes, get it turned in. And why do we need to get that done so clean? Well, you guys all know this as we go through Forest Elbow. We all know this, but we're on the Conrod Straight now, which, as we know, is an absolutely huge, big straight part of the track. So you want to be getting as much speed down here as possible. You don't want to be losing any time down here. So you need to get onto the throttle as early as possible, which means getting your braking and your turning done earlier so that you can get on the throttle nicely rather than stamping on it and getting a fistful of oversteer, which is obviously going to compromise your exit and your traction, which will then evidently compromise you all the way further down the straight. Anyway, I'm sure you all know that. I'm sure you all know that. So lap 1 complete. So Jetpacker, Michael are nice and tight at the front. Sean finds himself in 3rd place in his Porsche. And then Ollie is 4th, Dokuno's 5th, and Supercart Ray is 6th. So, as you would expect, being only just getting into lap 2, Rob2K already. You're Volton already. I did say this was going to allow some pretty interesting strategies. I just hope there's no damage on those cars, to be fair. Accident at the back. Oh, I didn't catch it, mate. I'm sorry. Well, definitely you can see who's that coming there. Jamie's in as well. I don't just want us all to look at my Ferrari for the last time, but there she is. Anyway, back to the front. So these two are still at it. Cooley's still holding them nicely in his sights. If anything happens to those two, he can pounce. But again, remember we were saying through qualifying, this track, the mistakes that you can make on this track are none, really. None. Yeah, you get a wheel off the track, over the curb too much, on the dirt. If you get your braking and turning points just minutely wrong, you can see how close we are to the walls. Yeah, you are going to give the wall a love tap, and that's you done. That's your race over. Anyway, a bit further down the grid as these three are getting quite cosy, aren't they? So Ollie's not too far behind in 4th place. So Ollie's just watching these two. Dokuno's just behind him, and then Supercart Ray's fallen back a little bit, so maybe he's had a moment. That's probably the best way to maybe describe what's going on there. Mighty Road Racing is all over the back of Supercart Ray in 7th. He's only 3.5 tenths behind. And then we've got Andy Cray in his Lexus. Again, he's pretty close. And well, he's just dropped off a little bit, but you can see we're definitely in the slipstream. And we're going to get a late one on the brakes. Probably not time for that. Probably not time for that at the moment. So there's your top 7. Andy's in 8th, keeping a watching brief on those two. And then we've got AMS in 9th, so he's a bit further back, and Elysium. So Elysium is in the top 10. And again, importantly, things to keep in mind tonight, Supercart Ray, Ollie and Elysium are the top 3 in tier 2. There's only 29 points split those 3, and obviously wherever they finish in the race tonight, they won't pick up points for finishing 10th, 15th, 21st or whatever. It will be where they finished in their class. Tier class is the wrong way to say that, because they're not AMs, are they? Not really, no. So Jetpack has built himself as 2nd at the top, and then, well, that doesn't look like a 2nd to me. And Ollie's really keeping tabs on these guys. So Ollie in the 88 Bentley is doing himself, well, he's doing himself a lot of favours at the moment, because he is at part of this quartet at the front. Dokuno's 1.4 further back. So if he can stick with these guys for a little while, he'll naturally end up just being part of this train, and that gap will just slowly eke out. What's going on further back? So Elysium is 10th. Iceman Sean UK is in 11th place as we come down towards the S's. Down again, down again. Get and Jetpacker has had an issue there. I'm pretty sure. Just don't clatter anyone else as Ollie's trying to get by him. Ollie's fantastic driving from Ollie there. I think Jetpacker was just, well, I think his steering is most definitely Fubard. He's definitely the best description from there. I'm sure Jetpacker's driving like this at the moment, which is really unfortunate. So that's released Michael, and I did say about the mistakes, I think going down the S's there, that first right hander on the wall, I think he's probably just clipped, not the first one, the second one. I think he's, as he's doing his down chains, he's probably just kissed that ever so slightly. That is the consequences of doing that. Yeah, it's really, really fine margins here at Bathurst, so that's unlucky for him. Fantastic for Michael. He now finds himself in the lead with a half a second gap back to Sean. Sean's made a mistake. Sean's taken Murray, he's gone too deep, ended up on the grass. He's also knocked the wall as well, so let's see what kind of damage he's maybe picked up in the Porsche. And Ollie RSR finds himself now 3rd place overall. Did say we would have incidents at this track, and we are getting a few at the moment, and it looks like mainly sort of driver error actually. But hey, what do I know? I'm just sitting here dying of heat. Yeah, it does. It definitely does it? And that's one of the things that I actually love. Come on then, let's do it. It's one of the things that I love about the game is the echo you get when you get close to the walls, and then the crispness of the down changes. I get it. JR Sim Racing, hello mister, how are you? I hope you're well. Supporting Marty, yeah. Yeah, I totally agree with you, Ben. Oh, hold on to that, Sean. Hold on to that Porsche, mate. That would have got the heart racing a little bit more. So yeah, I do agree. Ben's just put out a little synopsis there on Jetpacker, and I think, to be fair, I mean, at the start of the series, when we did the Mixed Monday series, if you cast your minds back, that was only a 4-race series, but literally every race, Jetpacker was smashing it in that Porsche that he was in at the time, but it kept having really bad internet issues and getting disconnected. So there's no doubt he definitely has the skills. He definitely has the skills to do that, but not for him tonight. So Ollie's still in 3rd place, Dokuno is 4th, and then Supercart Ray is holding 5th place, well, 6th place quite nicely. And then he's getting blue flagged, which will probably be annoying him at this stage of the race. JR, I was going to say, mate, I was having a little watch the other day. No, I haven't caught the sun. No. Well, actually, I have. I mean, I was putting up the kids' pool. I mean, obviously, this is a race, so we'll talk about that in a minute. But I was helping putting up the kids' pool. It was only a small thing. It was 500 feet by 700 feet. No, it really wasn't. And yeah, I did catch the sun, but obviously my daughter wanted to play in the pool all day at the weekend, and I can't say no, even though the sun hates me. So I had to say yes, and I tried my best, but hey. And what also doesn't help, JR, is the fact that, you know, I'm in this room, there's no fan in here today because that's upstairs with the sun, there's no aircon in here today because that's in the living room with the missus, and I've got all these lights on and computers and PlayStations and I am dying, but all for a good cause, mate. All for a good cause. I was just going to say, let's move off that while I'm getting too busy chatting now. We'll have a look at Dokuno because he's got quite a good view in front of him. And another one. Boys, you've got to leave those walls alone. Let's hope that didn't actually bring anyone else. So AMS is just coming up towards that scene of the accident at the moment. Let's have a look at Faco. Oh, who's that? Oh my god, it's all beginning to happen. And you know what I didn't do? You know what I didn't do? I didn't press start on the stopwatch, did I, guys? I got too busy talking, surprisingly. Daz, I have no idea who you're talking about, mate. I don't know who that is. I'll have to look that one up after, mate. But thanks. The other day someone said I look like Crofty, which I mean we all know I'm carrying about 3 extra stone at the moment, but thanks for that. And now this guy said, Daz, if this guy doesn't look like an Adonis, then I'm going to be quite depressed, and then I won't do comms on console anymore. Well, we know we're not anyway. JR, what I was going to ask you is, I was having a watch the other day of when the new the American DLC came out, and you were doing some racing within Dawkins server, I believe, and I was watching yourself and him and a few others, Michael Races, putting on a good show out there, and just wondering how those tracks are, really. Josh, right. Now I've got fans, mate. You're my fans. Oh no, stop it. Stop it. Sorry guys, I need to just check this out because someone said something. Oh, don't follow him. Don't follow it. Oh, it's so easy to do that. You know, when you're in the race and you're literally, I mean, you know, let's not mess about. It's actually very difficult. It's very, very difficult to follow somebody. I mean, you watch some of the guys on PC and sort of tier 1 stuff. I mean, they're literally on the bumper, and it's actually, that in itself is an amazing skill set to have, because you've got to be able to read and understand and trust, more importantly, what that individual in front is going to do whilst you're thinking about what your game plan is. How are you going to attack, or how are you going to defend, or trying to set them up for 3 or 4 corners time. You know, these things are really, they take a lot of brain power. And I was going to say, it's quite easy. Sorry, Faco, mate. It gets quite easy just to follow the person in front and then miss your own sort of braking and turning point. So Ollie's still in 3rd place. You can see he has not backed off Sean at the moment. He's got a really good run, so I'm assuming Sean picked up some damage as Ollie goes to take the normal racing line. Thinks about a move up the inside. Well, that was never going to happen, but he'd evidently showed enough of his nose there. He's trying to get into the mind of Sean. He's letting him know, listen, evidently my car is quicker than yours at the moment, so you need to push harder. And Sean doesn't want to push harder because obviously this is where he went off a couple of laps ago. As you guys enjoy that. Yeah, that's me. Of course it is. It is. I can't see it really, but thanks. Right, so 5th down the field. What other battles have we got that are on Elysium Superkart Ray? Now, this is a battle that we definitely want to be having a look at. Remember, Elysium is leading tier 2 at the moment. Superkart Ray is 3rd, I believe, in tier 2, and Ollie is 2nd. So this is for position, and Elysium's found a quicker way, potentially there, or not. good. That's good to know. Yeah, I tried them out actually, JR, just on the controller. Obviously, I bought the pack the day it came out, even though I don't do a lot of racing these days, but I need it for comms. And yeah, I was actually pleasantly surprised. I was Indianapolis. I thought was a really interesting track, very technical. And thanks, Ben. 1 hour 17 to go. Do you know what? Do you know what I'm going to do at the end of this? I'm going to turn all the lights out, yeah, and you'll just see a glow. You'll just see a red glow. It'll work. Trust me. It'll be really good special effects then. Right, it's Ollie again putting that pressure on Sean. So this is for the podium outright. Remember, of the race itself. Again, he's made that move. He knows he needs to get on that inside, so he's trying to set him up. And Sean is an experienced racer as well. He will know that Ollie's trying to get him set up just so that he can slingshot around the outside there on the way down towards the chase. Sean goes slightly defensive. Ollie thinks better of it. It's probably not the best place. Couple of little extra dabs of the brakes there. So Sean is pushing that Porsche. As you can see, Kino finds himself in the top 10. Well done, that man. Currently in 9th place. So who has already been a bit sneaky, did a pit stop? So Superkart Ray's pitted, Alicia was pitted, Rob's pitted, Kagatako's Fearless Freaky Volton's in the pits. Is that another crash for Chris? Marpat's got 2 stops out of the way, as has We Miss Wide Open. And Dokuno, he decides, right, I'm having enough of that, but he wants to see the best Ferrari in the world. There she is. Oh, could have parked behind me. There she is. So back to this epic fight. Oh, good driving from these two. Good driving from them two to avoid that rather stricken vehicle there. Who's that? 83. Is that Lamaro? Oh, Lamaro's not having any luck today. Didn't qualify particularly well. He's already had a couple of incidents. So yeah, you know that, mate. I'm straight in that pool. No, actually, no, hold on. I'll tell you what I need to do. Because it is the last race, I normally don't do this, but JR, if you're not aware, this is my last race on console, so I will be purely on PC next Tuesday. So we'll do the sprint series for Tuesdays, and then we'll continue doing the GT3 Fridays on PC as well. Let's just see if I can just speak to one of the runners in the pit lanes, see if I can get some. Could you please? Right, let's see what happens with that special request there. They're normally quite good at Bathurst, aren't they? At bringing you stuff, so we'll see. So again, Ollie's taken a slightly different line through there this time, so he's now trying to push him. Going for a switcheroo. Can he get that power down quicker? Cool, just I mean, he has the line, he's just moved himself across, he's defending very, very nicely. Can't see him do. Anyway, what's going on with Ben, Mr. Milden? Why are you watching this? It's your birthday. Your missus will shoot you in the head if she knows she's taking you out to this swanky restaurant and you're sitting there and she's, you know, she's looking at you going, oh, I can't believe you're 40, you don't look 40. You don't look a day older than the day I met you. And you're sitting there going, yeah, babe, yeah. Oh, go on, Coops. She's going to kill you, mate. Anyway. Thanks. That's kind of you, JR. That is kind of you. And Mr. Marty Road Racing. Yes, indeed. Has found himself up into 4th place again. Another Bentley. Marty's always pretty confident in that Bentley. Oh, hold on a minute. I can heard something. Maybe it's happening. I think it should. I mean, anyway, down the S's we go. So Marty's hunting these two down. He's now obviously hoping that Ollie can put enough pressure to make something happen with Sean. As by the way, Michael Races is still in the race. And he's way out ahead, almost 10 seconds clear in 1st place at the moment. So he's going to have a very lonely, very sweaty race this evening, although he might prefer that, considering some of the races he has been involved with in the last couple of weeks. And I bet he was pretty happy actually that Ollie not Ollie RSR, Tier 1 Ollie Racing turned around and said, I can't make it tonight, I bet Michael was secretly quite happy with that, because those two would be at it all race long. AMS, nicely done by you, Mr. AMS, finds himself up in 6th place at the moment, and Andy Craven in the Lexus is up to 5th. So again, I would hazard a guess, given what we can see at the moment. Oh dear, Ollie's made the move. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Brilliant. The staff at this circuit are very, very attentive. So cheers, Ben. Cheers, everyone watching. Has to be done on a school night. Oh no. So we saw Ollie get that moved in there. I was going to say, when we were looking at Andy and how much he was catching these guys up, so obviously Sean's had another incident, that Sean evidently has got a bit of a damaged Porsche there, and she's holding everybody else up, and that's obviously allowed Cool to get through. Sorry, Cool is in the Porsche. So he's still fighting, isn't he? Marty's managed to get past as well now. So Marty's up into 3rd. So Ollie's doing literally all he can to have a shout at winning the Tier 2 championship. He can't do any more than this. He's now just got to, you know, what's he got down Superkart Ray? He's got a lot of places between him and Superkart Ray. I think he just needs to be consistent now. Just make sure he stays in that groove. Again, we've seen before, little errors can occur. Oh, the sick little Porsche. Andy Cray's like, come here. Lexus wants to eat Porsche. And he could have an opportunity as we go through Forest Elbow all the way down the Conrod Straight. We know this is the longest part of the track and the quickest part in the run into the chase. So you can see he's gaining. This move's going to be done. Andy, go to the left. No, he doesn't even need to. Look at that. Cool's got no answer. So Andy finds himself up into 4th place. He will be chuffed as with that. On those brakes, get it turned in, squeeze on that throttle. So he now starts to try and chase down the two battling Bentleys of Ollie RSR in 2nd place and Marty Road Racing in 3rd. And Sean says, pits for me. Is it going to be a pit stop, or is it going to be a permanent one? We shall find out. So AMS, Iceman Sean UK, Dokuno, remember he was higher up the field for qualifying. Superkart Ray is in the top 10, which is fantastic, in 9th, and we've got to have a chat about this guy at one moment, although Elysium is 11th. So currently, with Elysium being in that position, that would give him, well, again, it's just done on where they finish in terms of their tier, so nothing's going to change at the moment. What a beautiful Ferrari that is in front of the 101 of, well, me. Cascanova in the 28 Lamborghini finds himself in 11th place at the moment. Indeed. I'm glad you spotted that, Ben. Yeah. Yeah, and JL Michael, yeah, he's just consistent, mate. And Cascanova, again, he decides, Cooper's talking about me, so I'm going to put it into the pits. I think this is Cask's last race as well on the console before he goes over to PC. I think pretty soon we're just going to be able to have an entire tier. I know you can. Alright. I know you can have ridiculously high tiers in terms of the numbers, but you could fill a decent grid, I think, just with the guys from here that have gone over at the moment. It's pretty impressive. So Marty and Ollie are still battling at the front. There's only 7 tenths between them. 1.5 seconds further back is Andy, and then we've got AMS in 5th, who's 10 seconds off the pace, although he's pretty secure because he's got an 8-second gap back towards Iceman Sean UK, so no real threat there. This is the battle that needs to develop, really. Superkart Ray and Elysium, both in Ferraris. Well, we've got a Ferrari quintet there, haven't we? Dokuno, Superkart Ray, Elysium, and Kaga. Those guys, they need these two in the middle. That's the battle. Elysium's going to want to get past Superkart Ray, but whether he will or not, whether he can catch him or not, we don't know. They've both completed a pit stop. So Yvolton's done both. Marpat's done both. Lamaro's done his 2 stops. Obviously, he was involved in some issues there at the beginning, and Kevin's also done both of his stops. Interesting. G, the G, G4G, Genie X, GG is in the pits at the moment. Rob 2K's in the pits, as is Cascanova, as we know. And Cass, obviously, I wasn't about on Friday because of the illness, but I will be this Friday, mate, and I will get your name correct. I will talk about you. Thaco, well, Thaco's not too far behind, under a second behind Kagatacos. This is like the old days, isn't it? Superkart Ray, Kagatacos, Thaco. I just need one Ferrari in there, and you got the old band back together for their top 10 scrap. As Superkart Ray takes a little bit of extra track there, coming out of Murray's onto the start-finish straight. Probably don't want to do that too much, so into Hell's Corner. And then on to mount it. And you know what, I'm not going to do lap guide. I'm not going to do a lap guide with Superkart Ray. We tried that earlier on and it didn't end particularly well. I don't want to curse him again. So Marty, it did say he dropped off by 1.2 seconds, but you can see we're now getting into some traffic, which is just going to make things very interesting. So who have we got in there? Is that Marpat? It is. So Marpat is currently in front of Ollie as the get out of the way, dude. Oh dear, so Ollie's had to back off there, which obviously that's going to give Marty a massive tow all the way down the Conrod straight. Ollie's not going to be able to battle that. He's just going to hope that he can stick it in. No, he's not going to be able to. He's had to go around the back, hasn't he? So Marty Road Racing moves himself up into second place, but he's gone way too deep into the chase, way too deep. And Ollie RSR, probably if he hadn't have gone too deep in there himself, I mean, didn't go as deep. Nice. Okay, was that was 2 moves in one there, and that was a show the nose into the last corner, but it was also, I'm going to pit to see if Marty would react and dive into the pits first. Good, I like it. He is, Ben. He is trying to wrap it up. No doubt about that. Nice and tidy. So there's a little bit here. We're talking earlier on about the different types of cars. I haven't plugged it yet, have I? Coops Cars, watch it on the channel. Little series about the GT3 cars, which I still haven't actually finished yet. Well, we'll get it done. There is something going on here. If we have a look at the current lineup on the left-hand side, obviously we've got McLaren who's smashing it out in front. That's Michael. He's always in a league of his own, so happy days for him. You've got Marty Road Racing who's second. Well, maybe not for long though, because he gets all out of shape as coming down the S's, which that's going to allow Ollie. Obviously, he was watching that. Marty recovered that very quickly and very well. However, that hasn't changed the fact that Ollie RSR is now all over the back of him. The question is, did Marty pick up any damage, any aero damage on that love kiss on the wall? But Ollie's in the slipstream. He pulls out there side by side. If we had a different camera, it would be absolutely amazing. But we'll just watch it from here. Into the chase we go. Marty is still going to have that inside line, but Ollie gets on those brakes a little bit deeper. Marty can't get on those brakes any deeper than that, and now those two are swapped over again. Great racing from these two. Not finished yet by any chance. Okay, so I was making a point. So we've got McLaren up top, then we've got Bentley, Lexus, Bentley. The bigger, the more stable platforms are then from 2 to 6. Then behind them we've got Ferrari, Lambo, Ferrari, Porsche. So all the cars that will probably try and kill you if you don't treat them with the respect they deserve. Obviously the Bentleys and the Lexuses, well, Marty definitely did pick up some aero damage, because you can see Andy Craven's just reeled him in as well down Mountain Straight as we go into Quarry. I think Andy turned in a little bit late then, but anyway, he wasn't bothered about that. He's been nice and consistent so far. Up through the cutting, on those brakes, get it down, trailer in, squeeze on that throttle now, buddy. Okay, so we're going to take the very short and easy path up the mountain. It's not treacherous at all. Over the top of the hill and then down the S's. So those Bentleys, you can see they are definitely quicker up the hill. Oh, we've got someone turned around there, and then we've got a slow mover as well. We've got 2 yellow flags, so we've got 23, and we've got, is that 10? Right, so we've got, we've got a Lexus turn around. Who's the other Lexus? Wowza. We've got a lot of action going on here at the moment, and this is the top, well, I say the top 4, it's not really the top 4. It's the top 3, because Michael's absolutely out of there, or is he? No, Michael's had a crash. Michael's had a crash and is now in second place. Wow. Okay, so Ollie RSR finds himself net leading this race. Michael Races evidently had a crash somewhere, or an issue, or been tagged, or has been traffic, or whatever it is. Remember, he had an 11-second, around about 11-second lead back to Ollie. Finds himself now in second place, or maybe just got bored and wanted to get involved in a race. Then we've got Mighty Road Racing, who's all over the back of him. Again, if there was a crash there, you've got to assume that McLaren's probably running with some form of damage. Andy Cray in 4th, and look who's just creeping up. AMS is in 5th place. You can never write AMS out. It's super quick, super consistent. I know he's 10 seconds behind, but anything can happen with those 4, as we've just witnessed. So that hasn't finished yet. Who's just come out of the pits? I think that's Cascanova's just come out of the pits. Shez Monkey, that's nice of you, mate. Shez Monkey just pinged me a message on Discord saying he won't be able to make it. I know it was touch and go whether he could. I think it was a work thing, but yeah. And yeah, no problem, mate. I obviously I love doing the comms for you guys, but not anymore. Well, no, obviously I do, but you know, we've got to get over to the PC world. Keno DJ, let's have a bit of that. So Keno finds himself half a second behind Sean. So Sean in the 444 Porsche. Remember, Sean was running second and third. He went off on the last corner, actually, just down the bottom here, clipped the wall a little bit, evidently picked up some damage then. You see he's still weaving around, and that caused him to lose a couple of places, and then he's been into the pits and done one of his stops as Keno goes a little bit too deep into Murray's there. So up towards Howes Corner, again on those brakes hard, get it tucked in, throttle. So no change at the top. Wow, Michael's definitely got damage. Yeah, you can see if you have a look on the left hand side at the front there, you can see something looks like it's shaking around. So he's got floppy bonnet syndrome, which that definitely means there's damage. So Michael decides, I'm going to get the pit stop done. He knows he's got the pace. Ollie finds himself stuck in traffic, so Michael's probably, well, I would have certainly had a look on the mini-map and figured out, well, actually, you know, these guys are now going to come up to a bunch of back markers which are going to slow them up. They will. Even if it's just a few tenths, they're going to slow them up. So that will also help if he's going to get something fixed on that car. Remember, it's a 90-minute race, so if you do carry damage, it is worth getting it fixed, because you just don't know what else is going to happen to other people as that Beamer goes really, really wide there. Was that Fearless? Yeah, it was Fearless Freak. We haven't looked at him today, so let's have a look at Fearless Freak. But obviously Keno. Keno's trying to keep abreast of him. Obviously I didn't press the timing button, so can someone just let me know how long's left of the race, please? Oh, that's good. I've just that's an email you want to see pop up. HM Courts and Tribunal Service. Brilliant. When am I supposed to be going? Oh, that's all right. I can make that. Yeah, could somebody on the live chat just again let me know how long is left in the race, so I can then actually set a timer for it? That would be fabulous. So Ollie out up top, 3 seconds now. 3 seconds. He's getting through the traffic. He's going to want to get this one cleared, certainly. Who's that? You're Volton. 79. Well, it's green. It's Grassroots Motorsport. It's a Bentley. Let's have a look at the map. Yeah, it's definitely the Volton. Chris takes quite a lot of curve there, bounced him all over the road. So Andy's now 3.2 behind, Mighty Road Racing 3.1, and then we got AMS. So again, I did say these guys are all fighting. AMS was over 10 seconds behind the original 4, if you remember, and Chris indicates and gets out of the way, sportsmanlike as always. But yeah, AMS is slowly getting on towards the back of these guys, so you never know. You never know what could happen. Michael, is he still in the pits or out? Michael's back out again. So do we have Floppy Bonnet? Doesn't look like we have Floppy Bonnet, but again, with this track, you know, this track isn't just, you know, it doesn't just present a physical challenge in terms of the driving. We know it's intense driving around Bathurst, yeah? There's a lot of things you've got to think about all of the time that all affect lots of other things all the time. You don't get the S's, for instance, where you've got 8 directional changes without one thing affecting 7 others in that chain, yeah? Well, there's punching that one, isn't it? Let's just get to see this. So that's Faco in front of him, so we know he's quick. But as I was going to say, it's not just a physical challenge around Bathurst, it's also a mental one, because to go quick, this quick around Bathurst, you're always on the edge. We know that you have to be on the edge to try and extract the maximum out of each individual car, and the limitations of that are usually to do with the human person sat in the seat thinking they're you know, an actual racing driver, which we're not. Well, I mean, you're not, so I am. But Michael's obviously just had an incident somewhere. Is that gonna be in his mind? I'm sure it would have been first lap out the bag, and I'm sure it probably will be second lap out the bag, and then that will slowly dissipate, and that not the confidence would go away, but that would still keep going. What's he saying? 55 minutes. Okay. Thanks, Ben. Let me just oh, stop. Timer. Let's do it like this, shall we? I'm going to put in 54 minutes, and by then we've probably got to be on the last lap or so. See what happens. Cheers, buddy. Appreciate that. Oh, you just do that for the entire thing. No problem. Ben's gone 56 minutes, 55 minutes, 54 minutes. I've got it now, mate. I've got it. But yeah, so my point is, wherever Michael had that incident before, that's got to be in his mind, and he's probably got to take a couple of laps just to shake that, because you can't really attack any of these corners thinking, ooh, I had a mistake there on last lap, but I had a crash. Because if you start thinking like that, then subconsciously your brain's thinking about that rather than concentrating on, oh, okay, had to grab hold of it then, rather than just concentrating on, okay, brake point, turning point, we've got a car sideways there, that's an orange Ferrari. What number's that? That is number 17, which would be G the Genie G for G. And he's done both his pit stops, so AMS decides to pit from 4th place. That's his first stop that he's going to get done today. For the last time on console. Probably be more in this race, but look, you know it. That's it. Nice one, AMS. Appreciate that, buddy. So calls in 10th. He's under a second behind Michael. Well, you know what? These guys are 9th and 10th. I'm sure it's going to be a great battle, because they're both amazing drivers, and they really are amazing drivers, these two, as are a lot of our guys. So Elysium, let's think about Tier 2 Championship for a moment, as we are on board with Sean, trying to chase down that McLaren. So Tier 2 Championship, what have we got? So we know Elysium is leading that championship. Elysium finds himself down in 15th, having completed both stops. Let's keep that in mind, yep. And then we've got Superkart Ray and Ollie. So I think Ollie's second, 19 points behind, so currently he'll be taking 40 points. I don't know how they're going to work that out though, because if they do it based on first, second and third in their tier, then, well, if those three just finish first, second and third as normal, then nothing's going to swing. So maybe they'll take it from actual overall standings. Ollie decides to pit on that note from first place to get the first of his 2 stops done. So that's going to release Andy. What a great moment for Andy. Let's see. Andy's going to take the lead of round 10, the season finale at Bathurst. So I've only got 51 minutes left. I'm sure I'm going to survive. Oh. Just gonna give our race leader a little bit of air time. Nice and clean, nice and tidy. Supercar Ray. Is that Dokuno? No, it's not. Cheers, Sean. Right, Supercar Ray. Who's he? Is that Marty? Oh, it's Ollie. So, Supercar Ray finds himself under a second. See, this is the beauty. I was saying this earlier on. With them having 2 pit stops, strategy really plays a massive part in this. A massive part. Now, whether that strategy was planned or whether it was a unforced, you know, listen, mate, you just smashed your car up, you need to go and do a pit stop type strategy. However that comes about, you'd think the former would be the better one, but Supercar Ray finds himself now 5th place overall, yeah. He's under a second behind Ollie. So, Tier 2 Championship, anybody? Ollie, Supercar Ray, 2nd and 3rd in the Championship. Get it going. Come on, Elysium. Get up there. Elysium's only half a second behind Thaco. We will change and have a look at that, but I think at the moment we need to keep our eyes on Ollie and Supercar Ray as they go through the chase. Again, you've got 2 very different cars. I've said it a million times already tonight. You know, that Bentley versus the Ferrari. I think the Bentley's going to get you around the track with less sweat. And she's wide, right? It's a narrow track here as well, so it's going to have to be a really, really good send or nicely set up over a few corners to make a move stick in that respect. Elysium's managed to dispatch with Thaco, which is good. He's now 3.3 seconds behind GT Jamie, also in a Ferrari. So lots of bits going on at the moment. So Cool is now a second behind Michael. Kagatacos is in the pits, so I'm assuming he's going to get out. Well, I'm assuming Michael will get by. So Marty Road Racing still in the lead. I don't know if you guys will remember. Hold on. Black 44 Gaming. Hello, Black 444 Gaming. Hope you're well. Yeah, and his box. That's right. So the interesting thing is, if you cast your mind back, and then we are going back quite a while now. Yeah, and if you don't watch the show regularly, well, you should. And if you do, that's great. Let's cast our minds back. Somebody once said to me, it was another race, and it was I think it was another 90-minute special, and someone said to me, who do you think is going to be able to go really far into this race? Yeah, and at the time, so Drifter was in the race as well, and Drifter Marty Road Racing had been doing a lot of endurance racing within FRL, but they'd also been doing a lot of stuff on the GT4s, and those two were always able to make their tyres last better than anybody else. Yeah, don't know how they do it, but it was always those two. And someone said to me in this race, oh, who do you think is going to go the further, or who's going to make the tyres last? And I said Drifter and Marty, and it was those two. But again, we're in a scenario, we've got a 90-minute race. Yeah, Supercar Ray decides he's going to come in and complete his second stop. Not a bad strategy. Again, he can see there that Ollie is stuck behind a little bit of traffic, so that might be a smart move. But again, you look down the list there, we've got greens, we've got ones. There's only 1, 2, and that's Marty Road Racing. So him and his Bentley, 21 laps into this at the moment, going down the S's. Everyone else is starting to make stops or have made both their stops. He's still got both to make, which that could be the difference. That really could be the difference today in terms of strategy, because he's staying out, the fuel's burning down, so the tyres aren't being pushed as hard as the fuel's wearing off and the weight's coming off. He's got a 50-second lead over Dokuno, and he hasn't done any of his stops yet. So I know he's going to lose time when he does those stops, but I'm assuming he's going to pit for one set of tyres potentially, if at all. and it'll be splash and dash. So there'll be quicker stops as he comes up to the back. Who's he on the back of? Of Genie the G4 GGXG. Oh wow, Marty! Oh, blimey. That was absolutely guaranteed, wasn't it? I'm talking about how great. Oh dear, oh dear. Little love tap there. Love tap in the pits. That could have lost him a second. So obviously Marty's the greatest at looking after his tyres, but he's decided to pit. Although he's the last of the guys to pit. So if that goes through, oh, 101. Okay, pit stop underway. So Dokuno, what can Dokuno do is just come in through the chase at the moment. Well, unless Marty does a very quick stop. So Dokuno is just coming past the pit lane entry now into Murray's. Marty's not moved yet, and Dokuno is on the start. Dokuno is going to take the lead of this race. No wonder Dokuno was probably the first person to vote and say they didn't want me to do a triple stream tonight, because he knew. And Marty's just leaving now, so that looked like it was a full stop. Dokuno knew he had what it takes to potentially win this race.
We are at the halfway mark, still a long way to go.
Good. You guys won't believe this, but I managed to start my timer at just the right time, because it says 45 minutes. Obviously I've had no help from anybody, Ben, at all, to figure that one out. So yeah, thank you very much. Right, close battles. Let's look further down the field. So Dokuno is the clear leader at the moment. He's got 2.1, 2.2 over Ollie, who's chasing him down. Andy is in third place, having pitted, so he is outright on the podium at the moment. Marty Road Racing has just come into the pits, finds himself in fourth. He's got a bit of traffic in front of him before he can get to Andy. And who is that in front? That's one set. That's Keno. So Keno finds himself in a sandwich at the moment. Yep, there you go. That just felt like he was holding on, man. Yeah, and he gets out of the way. Just doesn't want to ruin anyone's race. Keno, excellent driving, great sportsmanship there. Wouldn't expect anything else from him. He is a true gent. So Marty's in fourth. Ams is now still in fifth. Michael's got himself back up to sixth, but he's 10 seconds off fifth place with Ams, and Sean is holding on to the back of him still as he goes through the S's. 1.7 seconds behind, but he's still holding on to the back of him. So that's all good. Supercar Ray's in 8th place, having done both stops. That's interesting, because if everyone pitted now, he'd obviously be ahead of Cool, probably Michael. So that's not a bad shout from Ray. Iceman Sean UK is just coming out, having completed his second stop. Showing is currently in 9th place. He might lose a position in a moment though, or it might be alright. Let's wait and see. Kagatako's is 10th, having completed both stops in his 89 Ferrari. Fearless Freak is 11th with, well, he's actually now just completing his second stop, I believe. Elysium, championship leader in tier 2, is in 12th place. Not having the best of days, has to be said. Looks like a bit of floppy bonnet going on there as well. So maybe there's been another small incident, or maybe an incident previously in the race wasn't rectified during the pit stops. As Marty, are you serious? Oh, fantastic. It looks to me that Marty's come in to do his pit stop and then thought, well, there's only 41 minutes left, so I know that my tyres will last to the end. So he's obviously done one long stop to get his tyres done, and then he's just done a quick one, maybe a quick fuel stop, and smart driving, Marty. Smarty Marty, that's what people call me, actually. Well, they don't, they call me lots of names, but they never call me Smart Mark. So he's in 7th at the moment, but he is top of all the guys that have completed all of their pit stops. That could be a very, very good move come the end of this race. Obviously we'll see how that unfolds. Supercar Ray, as we said, 8th, Kaga's 9th, Elysium is in 10th place now, which is fantastic. Iceman Sean 11th, Fanco is 12th, Keno, having completed both stops, is 13th, and Who's 112? 112. Oh, Dokuno. Dokuno's had a crash. You can see, look at the state of the bodywork on that front, and Andy Cray. So Dokuno and Andy Cray have had a crash somewhere, or maybe that was Andy letting Dokuno by. I doubt it. Clearly you can see Dokuno's got a problem, and I would say you can see Andy's got a problem as well, actually, with the way that he's just driven through the chase. Yeah, I think he's got a steering issue. I think they're both going to be coming into the pits at the moment, and that was AMS who's just flown by them, I think. Andy follows Dokuno into the pit, so we have drama. We have a lot of stuff going on at the moment, so AMS finds himself up into second place. AMS has just kept his nose clean this entire race so far. Yeah, there's been no dramas for AMS. I'm not there, touch wood. There's been no dramas for him. He's just going about his business. Everyone else is getting involved. Finds himself up into second place. So Michael Races, he's going to have elevated himself, as will have Sean. And you've got Marty coming through, who's completed both his stops, remember. He won't need to stop again. And then Superkart Ray is a bit further down the field, just behind Fearless Freak. So we've got a lot of stuff going on, a lot of strategy playing out here. What's going on there? Ben, seriously, dude, what are you out? Come on, I want to know what you're doing for your 40th, or have you been out and now you're back home chilling? Obviously, I know this is more important, I get it, but I'd like to know what you're actually up to at the moment, just so I can put myself in your mind. Right, so Marty finds himself up to 5th. Again, look at what's going on around him. 1-1-1-1. Dokuno's in the pits. That elevates Superkart Ray. We know Dokuno and Andy are in the pits because, well, they both tried to smash the cars up. Andy's done and he's on his way out. Dokuno, well, I think Dokuno's got a bit more damage, most certainly. Okay, so Ollie's still leading the race. We're 24 laps in. We've got 38 and a half-ish minutes to go. So the guys normally, this would be sort of 52 minutes into their normal 1 hour sprint race. You know, they're probably thinking, oh, bloody hell, I've got to hold this together just a little while, No guys, you've got ages yet. And you've got to really push today. And the weather's saying that it's not going to rain, there's not going to be no thunderstorms, nothing bad's going to happen, so, you know, temperatures look pretty nice for them. So we'll see. So AMS has got a 20-second deficit to try and make up to get on terms with Ollie. That's a big gap. Michael's 8 seconds behind. I thought I was getting a new delivery service then. Let me just check those stats, one second. Yeah, so we've got 19 points between Elysium and Ollie, and then only 10 points between Ollie and Superkart Ray. So Ollie is doing a great job. He is doing a great job at the moment, can't deny that. There's your Volton. Okay, your Volton stays clean and clear. Good move. Whoopsie. Thought Sean was going to kiss that wall again then. So, in terms of really close battles that we've got at the moment, I mean, I would expect this, given that it's a 90-minute race rather than a shorter sprint. There aren't many massively close ones. I mean, that's quite a close battle, yeah, between me and, is that Kevin? Yeah, that one's pretty good. We'll keep an eye on that one. That could develop quite nice, actually. No, I can't do it yet. Obviously I was going to drive and overtake him in the pit lane then, but that wouldn't be very good. So Fearless is 1.5 seconds behind Elysium. So we've got Kino Doc Uno, man, this race is absolutely done with that contact. Where did Andy Craig come back out? 8th. So he could still pick up some half decent points. We do have people in front that haven't done their second stop yet also. That needs to bear in mind. So Fearless is 1.5, and then Sean and Marty for 4th and 5th is 2 seconds. So this is your closest battle on track, so we might as well enjoy it a little bit. Oh God, Elysium is just behind his teammate Limaro. Be nice, boys. Right, Limaro pulls out the way. That was probably a wise thing to do, and now he's going to pull back over. Now, is he going to try and hold up Fearless Freak in his 85B, man? Is he going to try and hold him up a little bit just to give Elysium a little bit more breathing space? Who knows? And Cool's now 3 seconds behind Marty, so Marty's pulling away, or Sean's, well, tyres are going off, or he's made a little error. Cool crashed. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, mate, it's roasting. It is roasting. Good. Well, I'm glad. I hope you had a nice time out. Hope you were thoroughly spoilt. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh no! Don't say the server's going to crash. Oh dear, guys. You're seeing what's happening here. Is it happening for everyone? Did he look like he was going to take off? He looks like he wants to take off. Oh, come on, guys. So we saw then there were some massive glitches going on with the server. Good. Good. That's what you should do. That's what I do as well, mate. You know, do the rounds, check everyone out, drop into everyone's stream, leave a like, say hi. You know, help each other. Everyone should help each other out, of course. So apparently, if everyone's watching, apparently, according to Ben, because he's been spying, Michael Races needs half a tank of fuel and 2 new tyres on the rear, apparently, and then he'll be good to go to the end of the race. Don't want to give everyone all of the information there. Or not. So, well, it looks like the server's okay. So it was Fearless we were watching, wasn't it? And we have had some disconnects, only 22 including me and the server now. We did have 27 at the start of the race, if you remember. Let's see if Kino's still here, thank God for that. So his electricity is holding up just. You might be wondering why I say that. Kino was saying to me before the race, a couple of hours before the race, he'd had 2 power cuts in the house. That's a house, I mean it's 18 room mansion. Maybe. But yeah, so he'd have some power cuts. So he was actually worried that it was going to happen during the race, but not yet. Right, so we just had a watch of Elysium. GT Jen, we've had a look at him. Jambo Hargreaves in the 26 Bentley. We haven't given Jambo a huge amount of airtime this evening, so let's see how he's getting on. Jambo's still pretty new with us, I believe. I know he's in tier 2, but maybe a month or so, maybe a bit longer in, which is good. So we all start, you know, a little bit here, a little bit there, and then you're like, oh, okay, they're alright. Alright, I'll do another race night. Oh, yeah, actually, and it's some of the same guy. Oh, actually, I'm starting to chat with these guys. Okay, good. And that's it, you're hooked, you're in. And then if you're lucky enough to get me chatting away on the races, well, that's it. That's it, it's full on stardom for you lot. So go on, Jambo. No change in the top 3. Ollie leading the race, 1 stop to make still. Ams is 2nd. Michael Races is 3rd. Remember, Michael had a 11-second lead at the beginning of the race, and then I don't know why he decided to crash, but did crash. We'll find out afterwards. And yeah, ended up dropping right down the order. Went in to get pit stop done and to get his car fixed, and now he's making his way back through the field. Mighty Road Racing is having a fantastic drive at the moment, really doing well in that 226 Bentley, up to 4th place, has completed both stops, and Sean in the 444 Porsche, you can see, he's just coming out, Did you put any fuel in, Sean? Because that's saying you still got a stop to do. Well, we'll see if it changes, but I think Sean's been in the pits for no reason there. That's going to cost him. Anyway, Supercar Ray finds himself up into 5th place as he's coming just over the top of the mountain. Pew! Down the S's. See, it's all nice. It's all in hand now, isn't it? Supercar Ray. It's all easy peasy now. You've had what? 59 minutes and 55 seconds to practice on this race, and there we go. It's the end of the race, guys. We're an hour in. No, and Chris is indicating again, and as he can actually now, I don't need to move over. I do have a bit more of a gap. He hasn't quite caught me up yet. Either that, or Chris is one of these drivers that just forgets and leaves his indicator on all the time. You know those drivers? You know those? I know those ones. I do. I know one called Chris Gedman by the look of it. Okay, so Supercar Ray gets past. What's going on with you there, Sean? Completely off the throttle. Kagatako's 7th. Andy Cray is in 8th place at the moment. Then we've got Iceman Sean UK coming down the S's in his 106 Bentley. He's running in 9th. Good effort from you. Was that a white flag I just saw being waved? Let me just... Nothing at the next marshal's post, so probably not. Sean comes into the pits again. That looked like a port. Let's see what happens with that. Anyway, Paco's in 10th, still got a pit stop to make in his Lambo. Kino is in 11th place in the Ferrari, coming down the S's. Dokuno's 12th. Well, I knew he'd lost control there. You could clearly see he'd taken too much of that curving on the inside. You could almost feel it. You could feel it pull the car around, and I was expecting it to really twist him. But he collected that one up nicely. But in terms of that championship, so Ollie's still out in front. Elysium, and then Supercar Ray. Oh, notification, Super Sprint's just finished on PC. Dakuno's got to be kicking himself, man. Because, and here, do you know what? Here's something a little bit ironic, right? Who's second in the teams? What, as in tier 1 teams, Ben, yeah? So Full Throttle Racing is second in your team championship. I'm assuming it's going to be. I'm assuming it's Dokuno and one of the others, mate. It doesn't actually show me what the named drivers are in there, so I don't know. Is my answer to that one, but it's fine. Don't worry. Yeah, I saw that. Sean's not particularly happy. Oopsie, Sean's not particularly happy because we did catch it actually. We saw him go into the pits to get his second stop done and then come out, and the game said he hadn't done his pit stop. Hence he'd have to go back in again, and I'm pretty sure that's annoyed him a little bit, really. Jumbo looks like he was going to make a move on you. Well, not make a move, was catching up with your Volton there, but nothing doing there at the moment. So the top 3 still haven't pitted. Facco hasn't pitted either from 9th. Sean's in the pits at the moment in 13th. I would say that probably is unlucky for some, because I know it is bugged, mate. I know it's annoying. Well, I'll let you two. I'll let the angry Scotsman and the probably rather chipper Englishman there have a little chat about that in the live chat. You guys carry on, all right? I won't read any of the messages out. We'll keep it all strictly in house. Yeah, only the entire world can see and read it. That's fine. So is Marty catching? No, Marty's not catching, is he? So we do have gaggles of traffic on track, but none of them. And Jamie's in the pits as well, 4 laps, so he's given up. Pain, misery, fear. He is going to ring you. I think he is going to ring you, mate. We've got another. It looks like a sad Scotsman in there now, GT Jamie. Mate, I've got to be honest, that did look a bit like hard work for you. That did look like hard work for you tonight, mate. So unlucky dude. So we have another one who is now out of the rest. So Kevin's not running, evidently. Cascanova is not running at the moment. Rob 2K is still out there in his Beamer. Bless him. He just, he probably still thinks he's going to win the race. He just never stops. He's running 19th, quite a far way back. Lamaro is in the pits, wishing he was in the 101 Ferrari. We'll see if that is just for a stop or if he's decided to pull out of the race. We know Jamie's out of the race at the moment. We know Sean's out of the race as well. So, by my reckoning, that leaves us with, unless Lamaro's going to come out, that leaves us with 16 runners. We did start with 27. That leaves us with 16. So, Bathurst is always a race of attrition. We know that. Let's have a look at your Volton again. We know it's a race of attrition round here because the jeopardy is so high. We spoke about it at the beginning. We talked about it on the when we were doing the lap guide, and we've mentioned it multiple times during the course of this race. The concentration level has to be totally on point. And I'm not making excuses for everybody. God, I'm not going to comment on that, Ben, because I don't want my channel to get shut down. But Ben's saying it, Two Angry Scotsmen could be like a scene from Braveheart. Anyway, at least YouTube gives you the freedom, to express yourself. Leave it at that. But the jeopardy's that high. And again, I'm not making excuses for anyone. It's so blooming hot. Yeah, if any of these guys are racing with aircon, if they've got an aircon unit, then brilliant. Then you should be alright. You're probably a little bit cold, actually. But for the rest of them, they're going to be going through it. 60 minutes at Bathurst on a normal day, you're going to be sweating. 90 minutes in this heat. A fan isn't going to make a difference. It's just going to circulate warm air. As my son found out last night, wasn't too happy about. Whereas obviously the aircon unit would make it a lot more comfortable. But so they are pushing, and they are pushing hard. Oh, we've got a double Ferrari scrap going on there. That's not them, is it? Not Elysium. So Dokuno and Kino find themselves in a scrap. 177 in 10th place. In front of us at the moment is Kino. He's doing extremely well. And then Dokuno's he's right tucked up under his wing, isn't he? He's going to pull out to the left. He's going to try. So he's going to hold that line, and naturally that will take him. Probably be able to brake a little bit deeper, certainly be able to modulate those brakes. Kino's still right next to him. These two are right side by side. They're going to touch. They don't touch. Bit of a switcheroo going on there. Go on, Kino, plant it. So they're having a nice battle. This is for position. Closest one we've got on track. Ams has pitted from second place, so he's come to get his second and final stop done for this evening. and we'll see where that puts him. So Michael Races is currently still 3rd, Marty's 4th, and Supercart Ray is 5th place. Oopsie, Kino takes a little bit too much there coming out of Hull Corner. We've got just under 21 minutes left of this race. If you're joining us, this is round 10, the season finale for Formula Racing League. We're at Bathurst. It's a 90-minute special, 2 pit stops. Tyres are optional, so there's some really good strategies being played out at the moment, and AMS has done his stop and come back out, as you can see now, comes back out in 3rd place. Okay, Elysium's just gone by him, but obviously he's going to be a lap or so down, I hope, unless the computer's playing about again. So that leaves Michael in 2nd, with Ollie leading at the moment. Ollie RSR leading. Remember, he is in tier 2. And he had a fabulous qualifying session. He's had a great race so far. Good. I'm glad you got that. I'm glad you got that one, Ben. Bloody freezing. Yeah, well, I was going to say, actually, what's the weather like up there? Well, Skaz is in, supporting Keno. He might just win it, mate. Where are we? Let's have a look at the track. So Michael's just coming into the chase, and Marty's on the Conrod. You know what? That is doable. That is doable. Where's Ollie? And Ollie, okay, so Ollie's going down Mountain Straight, and he's coming into the chase. Maybe that's going to be close. That is going to be close. I think when Marty, remember when Marty came into the pits, he'd seen the others were in a little bit of traffic at the time, so obviously he decided to make that move, and it might be something as small as that, which just gains him a few tenths or a second or so, and that might be the difference between winning and 3rd place. We'll see how that develops. Supercart Ray, Yvolton again. I mean, Yvolton's getting a lot of airtime tonight, but not on board with him, but I'm sure he won't mind with his beautiful green Bentley there. So Supercart Ray's under 1.3 seconds behind AMS. That is impressive. That is impressive. And where's Kaggle? Although Supercart Ray, stop going too deep into that corner every time. One time you do that, the curbs are just going to, they'll annihilate you. Skaz is supporting all the Red Kings. I don't know why I was roaring like a lion there. I am drinking tonight, as you can see, with it being a celebration of Formula Racing Leagueness on the console, and my farewell to the console commentary after what, 9 or 10 months of doing 3-4 nights a week on console. It's time to go and do it over on PC. So everyone obviously decided to make it the hottest day of the year, you know, in terms of this particular room, so that I look like a slightly ripened tomato. But hey, it's all good. Right, come on, I want to see some pit stops. I want to see how this pans out. Oh, whoa, who was that? Who was that? Who was that Bentley? Was that 106? Who's 106? Iceman Sean UK. Jeez. So I think clearly what's happened there, Michael's obviously come up to the back of him, evidently, and Iceman Sean UK maybe has got in a bit of a fluster and didn't know which line to take or whatever, but well, I think that does put things nicely into the hands of Marty, Ben. I think that definitely does when that pit stop happens, because Michael's going to be carrying damage all the way to the end of this race. So that is that's unfortunate. That's twice he's been involved in an incident now. But Supercart Ray, as you can see, has dispatched with AMS. Missed that one. Don't. Well done, Supercart Ray. Another great move by him. So he's having a really nice race today. He's coming up to the back of Elysium. He's got to put a lap on Elysium. Remember, these guys are in the title fight. Ouch. Ouch. That's got to hurt. That has got to hurt. But we don't. Whoa, watch out. So AMS has gone a bit too wide there, as you say, on that curve. So that's obviously just. So Kino and Dokuno have swapped places. as always happens, which I do love, and you just got to always have a little bit of patience, yeah, whether it's an hour race, an hour and a half race, or if it's a 3-hour stint, you've just got to have a little bit of patience, because when all the pit stops get done, everything comes together. Yep. And Iceman Sean's had another off. Just be careful, buddy. Be careful. You got championships going on. I'm sure. Well, I don't need to tell him that. He knows. But that Bentley's obviously not in a very healthy place. Oh no. You need to either crawl or port. And obviously not allowed to port. That's unfortunate. Cagatacos, 89 Ferrari, 6th place overall. Again, fantastic race for him. Andy's in 7th at the moment, and then we've got Dokuno and Kino, so that gap's actually elongated hugely. So closest battle on track looks like AMS and Supercar Ray, but obviously that's not really a close battle, is it? I was just about to say that you need some patience, and all the fights they all just come together nicely at the end. And I think you're going to find that Ollie and Michael are both running exactly the same strategy, because we've just got under 15 minutes left now, so we're in the final, we're in the final the last leg, if you like. They've got to be running the same strategy. It's just going to be a splash and dash at the end. Marty is only 12 seconds behind Michael. So what's that? 33, 12, 40, 45, say 46, 47 seconds probably the gap to Ollie. Pit stop wise, 30 seconds on a full stop, but it's not going to be a full stop. Can't see anyone taking tyres this close to the end. So it's probably going to splash and dash. So what? 3-4 seconds for that, and then time in and out of the pit lane, so I'm guessing it's probably going to be about 35 seconds odd. So if it happens now, I think Ollie would probably come out 6 or 7 seconds ahead of Marty, but Marty would be in 2nd place, so I think it was definitely going to get Michael. That's my little prediction anyway. Yeah, Kag is having a great race. He is indeed. And Andy was having a fantastic race until obviously we need to find out what happened between these two, Dokuno and Andy Cray. Obviously they were both running 2nd and 3rd up there, and it came together at some point. We do need to figure out what happened with those two. So Kino's running a very solid 9th. He'll definitely be happy with that. Again, we've got points up for grabs here that can affect the championships, not in terms of who's going to win it, but obviously we've got pride. People still want to finish as high up the order as they can. You don't put in 9 previous weeks worth of effort, and let's not mess about. Apart from GT Jamie, who's turned up and never really raced on Bathurst before and not had a chance to do much practice, I would suggest that most individuals have put a fair bit of time into every single track that we come to, and that's, this is week 10, so it's 10 weeks worth of hard work. You're still going to want to give every last ounce until the end, because even if that's 1 position higher in the championship, well, that's 1 position higher in the championship, So Elysium running 10th, so it's a bit more respectable from him at the moment, but he's behind Supercar Ray and he's behind Ollie, so we're going to have to wait and see how the points are worked out for this one. Because previously we did, the tier 1 guys got the points for where they finished as in tier 1, and then tier 2, if they were first in tier 2 they got 40 points, or then 38, 36. Whereas if that is the case here, then it's not going to make a difference to the championship. But then it wouldn't make a difference to the championship if they were in their own tier and that was the position they were all in, so we'll see. Anything can happen, 11.5 minutes. Anybody, touch wood, anything can happen. Ollie Pitts, right, this is what we want to see. So Marty's pulled that gap down from the gap to Michael was 12, it's now 10. So he's pulled a couple of seconds on him. Ollie's now in the pits. I said, my calculation, I thought Ollie was going to come out 5 or 6 seconds ahead of Marty depends if he's doing a splash and dash or if he's doing a full stop. So there we go. So that was a splash and dash. That was probably 5 or 6 seconds. So if he does, it may be 3 or 4 seconds, maybe slightly more, because that's a short pit lane there, isn't it? So they're just coming in. He's now getting going. Michael's coming through Howell's corner. There you go. There's Ollie. There's Michael. So all to play for. Marty isn't quite on their case at the moment, but he's in a handy position in 3rd place. Now, can Michael affect this race by challenging Ollie? Because obviously Michael knows he's going to lose 2nd place. He knows that. Yeah, he's not daft. Can he make a challenge on Ollie for a pride thing? You know, well, you know, I'm still first. Oh, he has. He's gone up straight on the inside now. Was that because Ollie went deep because he's got cold brakes and tyres, or was that because Ollie was being smart and thinking, well, actually, he's still got a pit, so I don't need to race him. Yeah, he's not going to go and get 60 seconds ahead of me in a lap. Obviously, you know, assuming nothing bad happens. So I think he's probably just got out of the way, which again is pretty smart, because that means he hasn't lost time battling him. He's more concerned. Ollie's more concerned with Marty, who's in 3rd place. And if he'd have got caught up in a big battle there with Michael, A, he could have lost a load of time, which would have pulled Marty into it more. And he's probably also thinking about Ray, although he's too far back. Or there could have been contact. We've seen that already tonight. There could have been contact between Ollie and Michael, and then that's your race ruined. So I think he jumped out of the way. I really do think that's what happened. So Ollie's 1.2 behind. Right, how far's Marty behind? I said 6 seconds. Let's see, it's probably a bit more than that. 7. I'll take that, guys. Come on. 7.1. I said 6 or 7 seconds. Thank you very much. Sean is having to tell Mr. Milden to answer his phone. You're right, Ben, he did want to have a little chat with you. It's alright, give him a cuddle, it's fine. Right, so Ollie's now only 8 tenths behind Michael. I don't think he's really that bothered. I think he'll just stay completely out of his way, to be fair. 7.3 now, so that gap's increased by 2.5 tenths in a matter of corners. So that should be done. Yeah, the question now is, will Superkart Ray manage to get involved with a fight for the podium, or will Michael comfortably have 3rd place in his pocket? And we know Michael's probably just got a splash and dash, so I'd say he's probably got that. I think, by 2 seconds. Am's in 5th place. Fantastic run by Am's at the moment. We've got 8 minutes left of this 90-minute special. Andy Cray's in 6th. Remember, Andy was up in 2nd, 3rd place earlier on. Had to come in together with Dacuno, who's now in 8th place. That really kind of, it hasn't spoilt the entire race, but certainly took the sheen off it a little bit. Kagatako's, what an absolute monstrous race from him at the moment. 7th place in his Ferrari. Great effort, mate. Really impressed with that. Kino's doing fantastically well back there in 9th. Still within the top 10, so good points finish for him. Elysium, current leader in Tier 2. We'll find out the winner at the end, because I don't know how they're working the points out. He's currently in the top 10 overall, running 2nd, I believe, in class. Then we've got Faco. Wow. I was going to say Faco's in 11th, but he's not. He's in the wall, and Faco, there's cars coming. So Iceman Sean UK manages to get by. Fearless Freaks running in 13th place at the moment. Your Volton's in 14th as we're coming up towards the S's again. And then Jambo Hargreaves, there you go, just coming up the hill. Jambo's in 15th. Rob 2K is in 16th, but still running. Still running, Rob. Well done, mate. And then Maro's still at it as well in 17th. Then we've got Sean's in the pits. Obviously had some bad luck there. I think actually the game was bugged. He come in to do his pit stop and he didn't register he'd done his pit stop, so I had to come in a 3rd time, which obviously ruined his race. Jamie's had no luck whatsoever at all tonight. GT Jamie, not actually raced here before, so it's an eye opener, I'll give him that much. And Kevin is also not with us, so we've got 17 still running. Where's your Volton? There he is. So Ollie's still leading, 1.8, and Chris is thinking he's in a Porsche. Chris, stop it. I've been saying for so many weeks, you know, that whole grass cutter thing's behind you now, but you're not helping yourself tonight, mate. So 8 watching at the moment. You have, or you are watching what has been a culmination of a fantastic season of racing. Yeah, great sportsmanship this year, commitment, hours, skill level, and just driver etiquette as well. It's been absolutely awesome, as it is. I've always said Taco Tuesdays, you know, these guys are the finest racers on console. I do believe that. It's just most of them are going to end up on PC, which is a real shame for the console, to be fair, but such is life, you know. I feel it's just backing out there. There's a bit of a paradox there, was there? Fearless backing up. No, alright, forget it. Yeah, been a great season. Round 10. It's been a long one, but hey, it's all good. It just shows how much these guys want to get involved. They commit for a full 10 races. They'd probably do more as well, to be fair, if it wasn't summertime. So Ollie is clearly in the lead. Michael's 2.8 off. He has not pitted yet again, so we've got 4 minutes 44 seconds left. 4 Sean, it's you. Oh, no, it's not. So Marty is running in third. He's confident he's going to end up in second place, which would be fantastic. Supercar Ray, you know what? What's that? 16, 12, 28. Maybe Supercar Ray. Maybe you might sniff a podium here, buddy. And there you, I mean, there's no close battles at the moment. There's just not. Well, you know, this is the closest one. Iceman Sean UK in front in his Bentley is 11th, and Faco is 12th, 1.5 seconds between them. So let's enjoy these two. Let's enjoy this battle for a little while. Everyone that is watching, if you haven't already done it, please press like. And you know what? I'm going to give this a plug for one last time. buymeacoffee.com/ it's up there, /COMMSbyCOOPS. Yep. Small one-off donations. You don't have to. You can if you want. You're never going to see me again. I'm sure you're really glad about that. But yeah. So Faco's not really close. I mean, that gap's pretty stagnant at the moment. It's increased a tiny bit, then it went down a tiny bit. So their pace seems very, very similar. Michael still hasn't pitted. Who's that flying through there? It'd be Ray, Supercar Ray, flying through in his pursuit, potentially of a podium. You know what? Whoever this championship goes to, nobody can really complain. Everyone's absolutely given their all. I would guess, considering Elysium is back with his teammate. Oh, wow! I mean, that was almost an absolute shave. I wonder if they've given a, no fighting radio call, or whether they're free to fight. Who knows? I was going to say, given that Elysium's currently in 10th place, it doesn't appear to have had a happy one today. That's for sure. Maybe this track isn't for him. So Michael comes into the pits and he's in and out. That was a litre top. So Marty's coming around. So Marty, we know, is going to take, beautiful Ferrari, thank you very much. We know Marty's going to take second place at the moment, but Supercar Ray is not. No, he's too far back. So he's just coming up to House Corner now. Michael's out of the pit lane. So Supercar Ray can see him. He can see him. Supercar Ray's got a fight on his hands with Michael Races for the podium. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think he's going to catch him, because obviously Michael's now got that pit stop done. He won't have changed tyres, so he won't need a big warm up on them. But then again, we don't know how worn everybody's tyres are, so it's anybody's guess. 1 minute 25 seconds to go. So the next time, where's Ollie? So maybe this lap, probably not this lap. We're probably going to get another 1.5 laps in. I reckon. But Ollie RSR has driven a fantastic. He's short shifting. He's going to run out of fuel. Ollie RSR doesn't have enough fuel. He's already short shifting. He doesn't have enough fuel. Wow, Marty, go! He doesn't have enough fuel. He's miscalculated that one. Well, this is going to turn into a fabulous. You can see he still is being overtaken. Ollie does not have enough fuel. So the question is Supercar Ray got enough? So Ollie's not going to get across the line. Oh no. 35 seconds, either that or he's being smart and he's trying to let the line cross. Oh, is that what he's doing? Is that...
The window is now closed.
No, one more lap to go.
Leaders on final lap now.
And now he's full throttle. So I think what's happened there is I think Ollie was just being a bit careful with the fuel, because you can hear he's now at full throttle again. Yeah, he was massively short shifting, which made me think he didn't have enough fuel, which was going to give us a really stupendously awesome and epic end to the season and the race. And there's more time going up there. No, not yet. No, stop, Jeff. So we're on the last lap, but I think Ollie was just keeping an eye on the fuel, making sure he had enough in the tank for the last lap, and now he's going for it again. So smart racing, Ollie. Smart racing. So Marty's in second, Michael's in third, Supercar Ray's 5 seconds behind in fourth, second in tier 2 at the moment. AMS is fifth, only 2 seconds behind Supercar Ray. So this would be a very, very positive result if AMS could get this place back. And Supercar Ray's gone massively wide there into the quarry. A little bit of a love tap as they go through the cut-in. So this is now the closest battle. It's 4/10. Andy's still 6th, Kagatako 7th, Dokuno 8th, Kino still running 9th, and Elysium, that rounds out your top 10 currently. Iceman Sean UK is 11th, Fearless is 12th, Fakko is 13th, your Volturn is 14th, and Jambo is 15th, Rob2K 16th, Lamaro 17th. We've got another close battle going on there as well, which we'll have a look at in a minute, between Fakko and Fearless. But these two down the S's, we've got a very, very sketchy, I'm going to kill you if you look at me the wrong way type Ferrari, and then we've got just the planted Bentley. She does inspire confidence in you. So we better go up here actually, don't we? So Ollie RSR coming through the chase, one corner left to go, Murray's corner. Ollie, well, let's get ready, Ollie RSR. I'm going to give you a clap, buddy. 90 minutes of hard work, a fantastic victory for you. We'll have to wait and see where that leaves you in terms of the championship. And Marty Road Racing, absolutely faultless drive, good strategy used there to do second place. Michael manages to get back up onto the podium, was absolutely streaks away in this race, 11 seconds till he had an issue, and well, the rest is history. Supercar Ray, fantastic, well done Supercar Ray, 4th place for you. AMS crosses the line in 5th, really good battle between those two. Andy's coming down the Conrod straight now, so looks like he's good for 6th place. Dokuno, and this is where they are on the track at the moment, Dokuno's just going up through the cut-in still. Kagatako's 8th, Kino's finishing off there in 9th. Elysium is, well, in the gravel and in the pits in 10th place. Iceman Sean UK 11th, Fearless is 12th, your Volton 13th, Fakko's finished 14th, Jambo is going to finish in 15th. Well done Jambo. Rob2K just never stops. It doesn't matter how good or how bad his race is, he just never stops. So well done to you. Lamaro is getting some donuts on the go. So guys, it's fabulous. It is really, really great to see. And I think, you know what's got to happen? It's the final one. Fireworks are going. I've got to come out. Let's go find the boys and do some donuts. I'd like to say massive congratulations to everybody. Yeah, to everyone that's on the podium, everyone that's raced tonight. I think you've all done extremely well. It's been fantastic to watch. 10 races. We'll find out. I don't actually know what's going on in terms of the Drivers' Championship at the moment. As I said, I don't know if the points are taken as a whole or if, as last week, they're done just per tier, so we'll have to find that out. Obviously, I'm going to give you my own lap guide again now in my Ferrari on a controller, but there you go. I'm going to try and catch up with everyone else. Red flag? Who's red flagged me? Obviously, I'm not going to catch up with everyone else, but it's been a real pleasure. That's all I've got to say. It's been I've really enjoyed commentating with all you guys every single week, multiple times a week for the last, as I say, 9-10 months, whatever it's been. A great race to finish off with, worthy champions everywhere, and yeah, I don't think I'm gonna. No, I need to. I do. Do you know what I want? I think I should leave everyone with a present. That's what I think we should do. So, not that sort of present. It's okay. It's the quickest way down the hill.
Warning for exceeding track limits.
Warning? Oh. No, I don't want a box. Come on, get down there. Come on. Yeah, I know there's some liquid on the track. This is what it must be like to drive like half of the guys on the track tonight. Well, I think my steering's broke. What do you reckon? Is my steering broke? Nah. Steering's definitely broke. Well, I was going to try and catch them up, but I'm not going to bother. So we're going to go back to the pits, and we're going to do the professional thing, and we're going to go on board. Let's find the pack. So Keno, there we go. So Keno and Fearless Freak. Most man Sean's in. Michael's doing some donuts. Well done, guys. Well, seriously, well done. It's been a pleasure. I'm going to give you all a cheers. I say thank you for putting up with me. It's been awesome. Happy birthday, Ben. Again, hope you've had a good one, mate. Congratulations to Ollie, Marty, and Michael. Congratulations to Supercart Ray. Maybe congratulations as well to Elysium. We'll find out. Everyone's put in a great shift. Only one thing left to say, guys, and you know what it is for the final time on console. COMMS by Coops out. See you later.